enough jacket on, so she started knitting a sweater. It's gonna get her warm.
Yeah, I'm a goat mo, goat.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Welcome to an all-new episode of the OSA Out of Shape Allstars podcast. What's good, y'all? Good.
What's up? What's up, everybody?
All right, like always, this episode is brought to you by Culture Capsule and sponsored by Don's Inc. You already know the vibes. We're coming to you every week with the best of sports, the best in sports. So we recapping our week in sports. I got the whole team with me, the whole starting five, and we're gonna run it down once more again for y'all. First, shout out to the star of the team, the homie Eddie Horchata. Give it up to Eddie, y'all.
Hi, how are you? How's it going?
Next, we gonna get into the kid K-Jet.
Yo.
Then we got the homie AD Andrew Durant in the building.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
AKA Radio.
Fuck out of here, Kev. Fuck you.
Right.
Fuck you.
In the purple and gold, we got the kid Johnny Five.
What's up?
And well-known, well-renowned sneakerhead, Just DQ in the building.
Well, then how it go? Dots. Dream of 18 for success. Fuck hoes, I'm blessed. How it go?
I don't even know what the hell you talking about.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Like, you say it was a fuck bitches, I'm blessed. What does it go?
Yeah, so on this episode of OSA,
Move it on.
so we give you guys the newest and latest in sports in the sports world. Of course, y'all know me, the Don of all Dons. My mom called me Devin, so you can call me Devin. I am the mediator, referee, and sometimes coach this all-star team right here. So we're going to get right into the episode and to get into boom or bust. Now,
my favorite topic.
Eddie's favorite topic. Now, the new 2020-21 NFL schedule has been released. We know who's going to be playing who. We just had all these transactions with Gronk going to Tampa, Brady going to Tampa. We just had the draft. So we're going to do our boom and bust for based on the schedule, based on everything that's been going on in the NFL. Everyone's going to go around and tell us who is their boom and bust coming into the new season. And Ed, we're going to throw it right to you. Boom.
You want to start with me?
Yeah.
All right.
Boom or bust. New NFL season.
Okay. Speaking of the Ravens, the richer get richer. I just want to start right off the bat. I think when you're a good team and you look at a schedule and, you play the win-loss, loss-win game, where you look through the schedule, and every Giant fan thinks they're going to win every single one of them. But more realistic fans play the win-loss, loss-loss-win game. If you're a good team and a good organization and you got the right pieces in place, every schedule you get is easy. And if you're a bad team, every schedule you get is probably the hardest schedule. Right. So, again, it's going to start with my boom. Keep that in mind. I'm going to start with my boom.
Not if you coach Gruden.
Not if you're Coach Gruden, correct. Yeah, win. Oh, well, you can't lose in the bye. Yeah, win. That Frank Caliendo was great.
Yeah,
so the Ravens got the NFC East and the AFC South outside of their own division in themselves. Obviously, they'd be playing the Browns, the Steelers, and the Bengals twice a year. But the other teams that they'll be playing in the league is the NFC East and the AFC South. Again, compared to the Ravens, and again, I'm not trying to throw shade at the Giants. I know I've been throwing shade at the Giants a lot, but relatively a pretty easy division with the exception of the Dallas Cowboys and maybe the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Ravens are a better team than they are. And then they're playing the breezy bullshit AFC South. I mean, again, you got who knows what's going on in Houston. You got Jacksonville. That do they want to keep Gardner? Do they want to tank and maybe go for Trevor Lawrence later? Who knows? But again, if you're a good team, the entire schedule seems easy. So that's why I say the rich get richer. And the Ravens do have a good chance to win about 14 games if you're looking at their schedule. I did have it up here and I forgot to pull it up, but it doesn't matter. Going right to my bust, and unfortunately, it is my beloved New York Jets. We have the third ranked. This is actual ranked third hardest schedule in the NFL.
Right.
We have 10 teams that we play that were 10-6 and above. So they were at least 10-6. These teams. So just going off through the first 3 weeks, and again, there is a contingency plan for the NFL. I want you guys all to keep this in mind, that if the season does get delayed, they have some weird thing that if they have to cancel the first month of the season, every team will have the same bye week, and they'll just play straight through the season. So you might miss the first 4 games. But that being said, I'm just going to go right off the bat here. So we start at Buffalo, which is not an easy game. Then we are home to the San Francisco 49ers, and then we go to Indianapolis, and then we have a Thursday night football game home to the Denver Broncos. Again, not easy games. Can they go 0-4 in that situation? Absolutely. And then it just gets even harder. I don't see a winnable game until maybe we host the Arizona Cardinals on week 5. But again, it's a tough schedule. You would hope that Sam Darnold takes that next step. You would hope that Adam Gase gets his head out of his ass. You would hope. But again, this is a make or break year for Darnold. Do we keep him? Do we not? His 5th-year option's coming up. So I just think the schedule screwed us again. And just before we get into it too, Giants have the 4th hardest schedule in the league if we're going to talk about local teams. Again, they have at least 4 teams that were at least 10-6 and 4 teams that they're playing that were playoff teams.
Especially after the bye schedule.
So because of that, we're going to go to a Giants fan. And Johnny, let me get your boom and bust for the new NFL season.
All right. My boom and my bust. My bust is I said bust. My boom is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh my God, here we fucking go again, dude.
And how's their schedule, John?
I'm gonna look up their schedule right now.
Schedule,
I don't believe this guy.
No. They, on this list, on CBS Sports list, the schedule they're in the middle of the pack. But when I looked at their schedule, they play the Rams. They play the Rams.
Saints, Panthers, Broncos, Chargers.
What division do they play?
They play. I'll tell you right now. Give me a second.
Yeah, that's the other thing, bro.
They play the AFC West. They play the AFC West, and they play the NFC North.
Yeah,
which those are pretty tough. Those are tough divisions. Those are tough divisions.
Yeah,
you got Green Bay. With the exception with the disregarding the Lions and the Bears.
Vikings.
You got Vikings and the Packers there.
The only teams I see that might give.
And the Lions be tricking people sometimes.
No,
they win like random games.
Realistically, the only teams I see giving the Buccaneers trouble on their schedule is the
New Orleans Saints.
The Saints, Green Bay, Rams, and Chiefs. Those are probably the 4 best teams that they're gonna play all year.
Yo, don't sleep on the Broncos, man. I don't want anybody sleeping on the Broncos.
Broncos got a great defense, but I don't think they beat.
And they got weapons.
I don't see them beating.
Got to do something. No,
John, you aware that Melvin Gordon's over there?
No, the game is at Denver though. The game is at Denver.
With the Broncos?
Yeah, Melvin Gordon went to the Broncos with Philip Lindsay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But Denver is at that game
week 3.
Week 3 at Denver could be a tough game where the Broncos could sneak one. But I'm just saying, based off like the best teams, they only got 4 challengeable teams. They play the Saints twice, but
yeah, I'm looking at the schedule. It seems pretty easy. But
I think they could. That's why I picked them as a bust.
It seems very easy.
They had them as the middle of the pack. They got Brady. They got Gronk. They added weapons. They had a solid draft. They made some moves.
That's your boom, Johnny. Correct?
Yes, the Buccaneers. My boom.
What's your bust?
My bust is it might sound like I'm being biased, but my bust is the Dallas Cowboys.
Again, they have a hard schedule as well. Yeah.
Well, according to the CBS thing I have, they have them as the 3rd easiest schedule.
Third easiest?
Yeah.
Very easiest.
So why you have them as your bust?
That's the point. Interesting take.
That's the point. Like Stephen A. says, accident waiting to happen. Everybody's probably expecting them to win like 13 games.
That's a fact.
Realistically, they might win 7 to 9 games, and they have the 3rd easiest schedule. So
I don't think.
John, are you saying that the Cowboys will be a bust with Dakota Prescott behind center there?
Yes.
So with that deal being done and at full, okay, all right, yeah.
Did they get the deal done yet?
No, but honestly,
they didn't get
back
the deal
to that, I think Dak wins on all this. The longer they wait to pay him, and if he decides to bet on himself and gets franchise tag like Kirk Cousins has, Pat Mahomes is going to get paid. Deshaun Watson are going to get paid. Those guys are arguably better quarterbacks than he is, correct? Right? Will we say that?
That is definitely correct.
If Deshaun Watson says, I want to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, they're going to pay him that. When Mahomes goes, how's Deshaun making more money than me? I want to make that. That sets the bar. So then Dak's going to say, hey, guess what? Bet on myself, went to a playoff game, went to the Super Bowl, maybe they lost it, pay me. And then they're going to have to pay him, overpay him.
See, well, look at the Cowboys.
I mean, that's a big if.
To start the season, they play the Rams in LA. I got the Rams that game. Then week 2, they play the Falcons. Falcons still got a high-power offense. Cowboys not
with no defense.
I can see Dallas Dallas can pull out both of those games though.
Then week 3 they go to Seattle. Week 3 they go to Seattle.
This is a tough game.
Yeah.
Week 3,
but with no fans, there is no 12th man. Remember that.
True. Then the Cowboys do got the Ravens and the Niners on their schedule. Obviously, they have the NFC East, you know.
Yeah.
But Eagles, they might split one with the Eagles. They play the Browns They play the Browns. They play the Ravens. They play the Steelers. You know, those are,
all right,
like
John.
The first 5 weeks seems okay for them, but it don't seem like an easy schedule though.
No.
They have.
They rank the third.
According to CBS Sports, they have the third.
Yeah, and they base that pretty much off of playoff teams and wins and losses.
That's part of the reason why I picked them as my Bucks, because I feel like there's games that they're guaranteed. They probably think that the Cowboys might win, and those might be the ones they're gonna lose.
Mm-hmm.
The games that they're supposed to win is what they is.
That's where the struggle's gonna be.
All right, John. Well, I got you on record saying that the Cowboys are gonna go 7-9. So, Dev, who you got up?
All right, so we're going to throw it over.
I said 7 to 9 wins.
AD.
That's their window, 7 to 9.
Drew, who you got for your boom and bust
NFL
schedule?
For my boom and bust, I want to go with the Jaguars. It seems like they got a pretty tough schedule. Like they got some easy ones mixed in. Like they got the Houston Texans on week 5. That seemed like an easy game, but when they start out, they got a couple of losses out. I can see them going 0-3 from the first 3 games. They got the Colts, Tennessee, Miami. I can see all them losing all those 3 games. I can see them losing all those 3 games and going to Bengals. On week 4, they might well, like, let's see where that game happens. But judging by they got a fully tough schedule. They got Minnesota on their schedule in week. They got Minnesota. They got Green Bay. They got a whole bunch of tough games on their schedule.
They're in the same division as the Bucks, so they got the same record. They're still playing the NFC North.
And who's your bust? Well, that's your bust, right?
No, that's my bust. That's my bust.
Who's your boom?
My boom would be judging by off their team and talent. I will go with the Saints. The Saints to me got a pretty schedule. I'm thinking they only got one team that they're really going after, which is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They'll be battling with them all season, but thinking to me, like, nobody's really in their class, like, really, once it comes. Like, I think, like, Drew Brees and that team is just way above. Like, I really think that team is going to soar this season, which would be the New Orleans Saints. They might even take it all the way and go to the Super Bowl, in my opinion.
Yeah. We talked about that last week. That's their division until somebody else takes it from them.
Right. And they got
especially Tom Brady.
The Bucks haven't proved anything.
Here we fucking go again with the Bucks. Get off of his dick, John. Stop sucking his dick. He hasn't even taken the field yet.
I just co-signed what you said. I just co-signed what this guy said. Ed just said that it's the Saints division till somebody takes, and I said, yes, the Bucks haven't proved anything. What other teams going to take that division from them?
Just stop saying the Bucks. Keep Brady's name out your mouth until we see him on the field.
Brady.
Just to show everybody this is going to be the talk for this whole football season.
Right,
like,
the whole season.
I just
the whole
co-sign
football
Eddie.
season, these two are going to argue
PTSD. That's what Brady done did to Ed.
podcast about this.
So, things that happen outside of this podcast. John seems to think that I have Stockholm syndrome and that I'm obsessed with Brady. I'm not.
Yes.
I just don't like him, and I don't want him to have any success.
I just co-signed you, and you just went crazy.
I said it. I respect Bill. I don't respect Tom. Tom is a system quarterback and a product of a garbage AFC East and an even worse AFC division. And that's why he's won as much as he's won. I'm saying it. He's gonna fucking suck in the NFC.
Eddie, calm. I know we just fans. We've been murdered by him.
He just went on this crazy Brady rant.
Calm down.
I just co-signed it.
Calm down.
I just co-signed on the Saints, and he just went on this crazy Brady rant. I didn't even mention Brady's name. I was like, it's the Saints division till somebody takes it.
So Eddie just went to the bench. We got to get Eddie a moment to cool off. And for people that don't know what the bench is, it's where niggas be wilding and we just need to give them a moment. That's where Eddie is right now. Drew, what was your boom again so we can get – and we'll bring Eddie back in a second.
New Orleans Saints. That's my boom.
And they got a pretty easy schedule. They had the Bucks. They had they had Chiefs, and they didn't have really a hard schedule.
Oh,
They don't really have a hard schedule. Just like I said, the only teams I think
the 49ers at home. They play Denver at Denver.
Yeah, Denver, they can win. I'm truly honest. Like
in the history of Drew Brees, like he's a great quarterback, but his teams always struggle on the road. So at Denver, they could catch that L at Denver.
Anybody can catch the L at Denver. Denver is really a tough team.
Am I back?
Yeah,
I'm not going to downgrade Denver, but Denver is Denver will be the up down team. Like anybody can win, anybody can lose.
Denver, they played Green Bay, they had the Buccaneers twice, they played the 49ers.
I really think the
and
schedule.
They play the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Are we still talking about the Saints? I don't know what's happening.
We're talking about the Saints schedule. We're talking about the Saints schedule.
That Saints 49ers game last year was the best game I've ever seen, ever, period.
That was a good game.
Boom and bust, new NFL schedule. What you got?
You said me?
Yeah, Kev.
Yeah, you, Kev. Your name's Kev.
So I'm gonna do Boom first because it's my sleeping team, and then once I saw their schedule, I have faith in them. Nobody else does, as long as they perform. So for my Boom, I'm picking the Browns.
Okay.
And the reason for that is starting out the gate, they play the Ravens, and at the Ravens, they're gonna lose that game. But out of the rest of the 5 games, they can win 4 out of their 6 first games. They beat 2 Bengals, Skins, Cowboys, Colts, Steelers. Now for me, I wanted the Giants to start off with the Bengals somewhere early because if Burrow starts, he's gonna take him 3-4 weeks to like get things going.
Mesh. Yeah.
Right. So you wanted them to catch him before the momentum.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes,
Burrow's starting week 1. Just by the way, he's Dalton's gone. He's the starter.
And with everything going on, it's obvious that there's going to be less time to really connect with the receivers unless he has one of them move in with them and quarantines them in his basement and then starts practicing with them. But otherwise, once they get to the Cowboys, the Cowboys are always up in the air. Maybe they'll lose that, but they could beat the Colts if what's my guy Rivers doesn't have it together by week 5. You know what I mean? And then the Steelers, Ben's back, but Ben really doesn't have that much around him right now. Right. And then the back end of their schedule, the last 4 games, another loss there to the Ravens, which may hurt them. But again, if they're firing on all cylinders by week 14, that game is going to be better than any of us might think. But they're going to end with the Giants, Jets, Steelers. So I don't know. That's my opinion. All right. Yeah. So for my bust, I've been waiting.
Okay.
Waiting for 10 years to say this. And I say it with confidence. The Patriots are my bust.
Oh wow. Oh man.
AFC, it's crazy. The Patriots my AFC bust, but we're doing this too.
Bust overall.
Yeah.
Not one of the hardest.
They're playing the same teams we're playing.
But out the gate, they're playing a hungry Dolphins team. Then they go
With Ryan Fitzpatrick as the starter, though. Who is not starting week 1.
Listen,
Did I tell y'all that?
what does Ryan do in the beginning of the season?
He fucking goes off. But he's flippy floppy. He's one good year, one bad year. One good year, one bad year.
So out of the first 3 games, I'll be honest with you, they're gonna win 1 out of the first 3. They're gonna beat the Raiders in week 3. Okay, that's fine. But once we go to week 4,
They're gonna be who?
Raiders? You said Raiders or Ravens? Sorry.
They're gonna beat the Raiders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought you
the
said
Ravens.
Ravens. I was like, you
I thought
bugging. I was like,
They're
what?
gonna beat the Raiders week 3. That's fine. But then
Yeah.
after that, we go KC, KC, Denver, Niners, Bills.
All the way?
Yep, until they play the Jets.
Wow.
November.
They're going to be shot. That's a win for us.
I'm hyped.
Yes.
I'm excited. And then, after they play the Jets, the schedule just picks right back up. It's Baltimore, the Texans. By the time they get to Arizona and whatever week this is, 4, 8. All right, that's week 11. Yo, D-Hop is going to already have like 80 receptions, 1,200 yards. It's a problem.
Kev, since you have the most hatred for the Patriots as much as I do, and you're not a pipe smoker like Johnny.
Eddie might top it. Eddie might top it.
Kev, what do you think their record's going to be this year? Guys, say it.
I wrote down, what would it be? Let me do the math in my head.
I mean, you just play the win-win, loss-win game.
So what is that, 3 and 12?
No, it'll be 3 and 13.
3 and
13. You're wild.
Nah.
You think we're going to tank that bad?
Nah, I'll give them.
You think the Jets gonna have a better record?
I'll give them 5 wins. 5 and 11.
Wins, good. Yeah, because I don't want them to win less than 5 because I don't want them to get a chance to get Trevor Lawrence. So
No, I'm being funny.
That
They'll
would be
win 5.
crazy. That would be crazy.
And
nah, man, that's what could happen though. Like that's what the Patriots do. Is that once you think they're down and out, they're gonna pick right back up.
I want to go on record and say that the 5 wins that they're gonna win is gonna be somewhere, in the middle, or it's gonna be a stretch somewhere. But I guarantee you, there's gonna be a game somewhere around week 5, 6, or 7 where they're gonna lose just like a devastating loss, like 60-yard
blowout
goal through the upright.
Wow.
Just when they won 3 straight and they're thinking they're on a roll, and season done. Can't wait.
Really? All right.
All right, so
I'm
that's
putting you on the
hot
record
take.
for that too, Kev.
We're gonna see when the season starts. Now, DQ,
Yes.
boom and bust NFL schedule. What you got?
Like pretty much my bust is just following what Kevin said. The Patriots, they're
Wow.
pretty much
Love it.
53% of their
Johnny
total.
shaking his head.
So, and my boom is literally it's the Ravens keep this short and sweet because they should have been a 2-0 last year, but they fucked up. But this is the time to actually get there.
No, I know. No, I'm just saying, like, Bill Belichick is a master genius. Like, it's just, it just seems like
Bill Belichick's a fraud. That's the case. He would have put the Browns to the Super Bowl, the Jets to the Super Bowl, all the other teams to the Super Bowl.
No, he left the Jets. He
He
didn't
left
coach
the
us. He
Jets.
never coached us. He never coached us. He never coached us.
That's
Not even 3
My
games.
biggest regret.
He went there one day, then he left. That's what he
It's
did
not
with the
even
Jets.
3 games. I think the Pats will win consecutively, bro. Looking at their schedule, and that's
I'm just saying.
They have a tough schedule, and
we
like
can
I
talk shit
said, the
about
AFC
Pats
East has a
now,
tough
how it
schedule.
looks, and then
Bro.
when the season hits and some other shit happens.
Listen, John. The only stretch
Motherfuckers
that
gonna
they
be
might be able to
speechless.
win 3 games doesn't happen, bro, until week 7. Texans, Cardinals, Chargers.
Yeah, but you're looking at it on paper.
LA's
like-
firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Like, it looks,
I mean,
it looks
right.
as lots,
So,
but we don't know until the
on-
season plays.
We are saying this because we don't know injuries. We don't know who's doing what. We don't know how many other signings are going to happen. You still have top flight pass rushers, top flight cornerbacks.
Wasn't the Patriots
top
like the
quarterbacks.
top defense of the NFL last year?
Yeah, but what happens to defenses that are always on the field? What happened to the Bears last year? What happened?
What happened to the Jets? I mean, Jets were top 5 defense in the league, period,
No,
hands down. They were top
true.
3 as far as pass rushing, but we had the overall offense, the 29th ranked offense in the league.
What I'm saying is they're making it look too easy to say. The Patriots was my AFC bust, but I'm really just thinking like they're making it look too easy.
John,
like, they're going to lose the game.
We'll see.
And then
Dev.
So, Johnny, you see it as it looks like a too obvious of a schedule. Like based on the schedule, yes, they're gonna be a losing team. And with Bill Belichick, you feel like you're a mastermind. It ain't gonna happen that way.
I agree.
I still think they have a losing season.
I agree with John.
5-11.
The great downfall everybody is praying for them to have, I'm not too sure it's gonna happen. But that's just my opinion.
All right, fellas. Thank you guys for your take.
When you put my hat,
what happened?
there, put Patriots going 5-11 right above it too, please.
5-11. That's what you said, because I have 3-13. You on the record 3-13.
No. Kev changed it.
Okay.
Y'all said it. Once the season starts, every week, Eddie and Kev, I'm gonna put Patriots record above y'all and what y'all said the record was gonna be. So we're gonna
I didn't say 5-0. I didn't say shit. I know the Patriots. I've dealt with them. I know.
Every time the Buccaneers win, put the Buccaneers helmet on Ed. How about that?
Every time the Patriots lose, put a dick in Johnny's mouth. How about that?
Every time the Buccaneers win, put that shit on Ed.
Moving on. Moving past NFL schedule. We moving from there. Now we're gonna get into start, cut, bench. Now basically,
this is our version of fuck, marry, kill.
Something like that. Right, exactly. Right. Pretty much. Give you guys 3 players. We're gonna start at MMA, UFC. So which player will you start? Which player will you bench? And which player will you cut? We're gonna go with Chuck Liddell, Bones Jones, and Quentin Rampage Jackson. I'm gonna throw it to Eddie first. Start, bench, cut.
Okay, so I watched UFC in the beginning when it was hot and it was cool
and it
was fresh and it was fun. Yeah. And it had, what was that show? There was a show, reality show.
Ultimate Fighter.
Ultimate Fighter was the show. And I remember Tito Ortiz and Chocolate and Rampage hating each other, and then Liddell and Rampage hating each other. And I remember that whole like Liddell Rampage argument. Yeah, all that stuff. After that, that's all I know. I don't give a shit about UFC at all. Lyoto Machida was like one of my favorite UFC fighters for a long time because he had those like swift kicks. And then I felt like anybody that was a Gracie could win. So that's my UFC history. I don't know a lot. I have zero knowledge of UFC. So what I did was
research.
Right. I did a little bit of research. I didn't want to invest a lot of time in this because I'm ready for the next one. The next one's going to be fun. So if I were to go, I would, based on their record. So Chuck Liddell went 21-8. Rampage Jackson was 36-11, and Bones Jones was 26-1. So I'm cutting Liddell, I'm starting Rampage, and I'm benching Bones Jones. I'm benching Bones Jones because, I don't know him. I have no idea who he is. It's a pretty good record, but I'm starting Rampage because not only is he 36-11, but he was B.A. Baracus in the A team, and he was great, and he also broke down a door in that Ultimate Fighter show, and that was cool, and he beat Liddell. And did he not beat Jones? Probably not. I don't care.
Jones beat that ass, though.
Yeah, did he? Yeah. He probably beat. Did he beat him in his prime, or did he beat him when he was old?
Well, you beat him when Rampage started doing movies, and Jones was up and coming.
Yeah, exactly. So he was washed at that point. Bones Jones is the Floyd Mayweather of fucking UFC.
That's a bad thing.
I don't know. Again, I don't know anything about UFC, so move on.
John, bench start cut, Chuck Liddell, Rampage, Bones Jones.
This is definitely tough because I'm a big fan of Chuck Liddell, and Chuck Liddell is like a pioneer. He's like a pioneer to the UFC.
Right. Chuck Liddell used to have a crazy hook. He used to put his head down and hit you like this.
He's a pioneer, but but he definitely, he fought Rampage. Rampage beat him.
Yeah.
But Chuck Liddell's a pioneer, so it's hard. But if I have to do bench starter, cut. I'm starting John Jones. I'm benching Rampage, and I'm cutting Chuck Liddell. Tough.
Tough.
That's the order I'm going.
It's hard. All these are hard.
Drew, bench start cut. Who you got?
Just like I said, these is tough. All these guys are like legends in their own right, and they deserve to be respected. But as a preference by me, like I would say like Chuck Liddell really much like he started all of this. Like he is
He's a
like
pioneer.
he's like
You're
he
right.
is like
Yeah,
he
you're
is
right.
like
Tito,
Mhm.
he
Shamrock.
is
That was like the first.
yeah
Like, when
he's
USC
like
was starting
the
out.
like the one of the like the
Randy
first like
Couture,
notable
like all
names.
those.
Like
Randy
Randy Couture, I do remember that guy. Randy.
I'm in my mind. I'm starting Chuck Liddell,
Okay.
and I'm benching Rampage, and I'm cutting Jones.
Oh, that's different.
But
Mm.
I thought I didn't see that coming, but okay.
I can respect it because when it comes to like the pioneers, when you think of UFC, like
You
from the
think
jump,
Rampage and Liddell?
Rampage, Chuck Liddell, these are the people you
Mhm.
think of.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
UFC as a culture took off with the games, with the shows. It was these guys. So I can respect that. Kev, who you got? Ben Starcut, Chuck Liddell, John Bones Jones, Quentin Rampage Jackson.
I'm not that well versed in the UFC either, but I have seen the Liddell and Rampage fight. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna start Rampage. I'm gonna bench Liddell and I'm cutting Jones because I think having a crazy white boy coming in for cleanup ain't a bad idea.
yeah. Good move. Good move.
Good
Ken
move,
using
good
the
move.
baseball analogy.
Right.
Oh my God.
All right,
Love it.
DQ, what you got?
So pretty much I was kind of back and forth with this, but when pretty much Eddie mentioned he was in the A team, I gotta start
Thank
Yeah.
you.
gotta start
That was a
Rampage.
good movie.
It was a good movie.
Great
Yeah, it
movie.
I'm a bench.
Terrible movie.
I'm a bench Chuck, and I'm cutting Jones because he a cheater. He a cokehead. He was talking shit about Chris Brown. So fuck.
No, that's dope. My list would have been start Rampage, bench Bones Jones, and cut Liddell. Although I love Liddell, but I got to give Bones Jones his respect because he is one of the best fighters that we had in UFC.
Yeah. I
The
mean,
main reason
like
why
all
I
these.
cut Liddell was because Jones only lost once. That was literally the tiebreaker for me. I was like, oh,
And
cool,
again,
he's got one loss.
honestly, if Jones didn't have the issues with the drugs and the stuff out of the sport, he'll probably be labeled the greatest UFC fighter
Oh yeah, hands down,
to ever do it. But he got too much. He got too many demons. So we're gonna jump into the next topic, bench star cut, and we're going NFL
This
receiver.
one's tough.
Now,
It's tough.
I love
this is
this
a hard
one.
This
I
is
got
a-
facts.
Y'all might hate me.
Now,
Numbers don't lie.
y'all numbers do lie sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes
Numbers
it does.
don't lie.
I'm going
No,
with the
no,
rings, bro.
we
I'm
get-
going with the rings.
We get into three of the greatest wide receivers to ever play the
Oh
game
my god,
of
this
football.
is
We
crazy.
got bench star cut, Randy Moss, T.O. and
Also great.
I can't win.
Consider the GOAT, Jerry Rice. So bench star
I'll
cut,
go.
we're gonna go DQ. Who you got? Bench star cut, NFL receivers.
So I'm gonna do it backwards. I'm cutting T.O. Cutting
Okay.
T.O. I'm benching Jerry Rice,
Right?
and I'm starting Randy Moss because when you catch your ball over someone, you don't call it being Jerry Rice.
Moss.
Getting Moss. Fuck
Mhm.
that. Getting Moss.
That's a
Till
tough.
That's
this
only because
day-
Jerry Rice
till
isn't
this
on
day, it's
ESPN.
Moss.
Like, come on. You got Moss as a segment created by Moss. How fucking narcissistic is that?
No, I'm not
It's true.
saying
Bro,
that's.
he-
But yeah, I remember going Randy. Like, yeah, all that. Yeah. You're
As
right.
a kid, we played football. That's what it was
Right,
saying.
you're right,
You
you're
got
right.
Moss. You got Moss.
Till this day, if somebody get that catch, your ass
Moss.
Moss.
If it's one-handed, you got Moss. It's over.
Act decap. I done Moss him a few times. Yeah, when you see this decap.
He going like that.
Yeah, I don't care, nigga. I lost you a few times. All right, so that's DQ's Kev. Star bench cut, wide receivers, T.O., Randy Moss, Jerry Rice.
I mean, this was one of the hardest things to do, honestly, because T.O. he's a dog, bro. He's a beast, but T.O.'s definitely getting cut.
Okay.
Right? Rice, I'm definitely starting him. And, obviously, Randy's getting benched. But I'm starting Rice because the production
Right.
that he had in the
Mr.
time that
Consistent.
he had,
Yeah.
less games played and everything. Bro, like, what did I write down? When Moss broke Jerry's record, we can mention that was the '07 season. We know the Giants.
That's in a single season, though.
Correct. But listen, in a
Right.
single season,
Mm-hmm.
right? When Moss
Yeah, mention
broke
that,
it,
though.
and obviously lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl that year, he broke it by 1 with 23 touchdowns versus Jerry's 22. And Randy played 5 more games. I think back then they was only playing 12 games.
Yeah.
No, they're still playing 16.
Yeah.
They're playing 16. They're playing 16.
At the beginning of his career, too, though, John?
I don't think so, John. Not at the beginning.
The beginning of his career.
Yeah.
Bro,
Okay.
all I know is
All the way back from 1985.
We're gonna have to fact check.
I mean, I don't know. You're probably right. You're probably right.
No, it's been 16 games for the longest.
Oh, it's been like it's been a little shorter, Johnny.
no numbers don't lie, bro. So that's it.
All right, Eddie, who you got?
Okay, yeah. Well, piggybacking off Kevin, I said it at the beginning of the segment. Numbers don't lie. I'm going to rattle off a few things. So, number 1 in receiving yards, 22K to Randy Moss's second best, T.O. at 15.9K receiving yards, and then Moss at 15.2K. All right, we're talking about 197 touchdowns to T.O.'s 153 to Randy Moss's 156. And then this is the stat that I love the most, all-purpose yards. So altogether, yards that are going to get you to the end zone to score points and to win championships, which Jerry has more than both of them. All-purpose yards, we're talking about 23K to I couldn't even find T.O., by the way. He was ranked 23 on this list. By the way, Jerry is number 1 across the board here. Jerry is at 23K. I couldn't find T.O. because he was only at 16K, and then Moss at 27. So I'm starting Jerry Rice. Oh, by the way, he did this with 3 teams. T.O. and Moss, 5 teams. So you 5 teams. Jerry was loyal. Jerry knew how to play the game. Jerry has the numbers to back it up. That is my starter.
Randy is his name. Okay.
I'm cutting T.O. not because of – it's just that diva personality, man. The guy couldn't stay on the team, I know he tried with Dallas for a little bit. That's my quarterback, and he tried. He did what he had to do, and he went to Philly for a little bit. That was a cool little hot spurt. Then no one remembers. Didn't he go to Cincinnati?
Yeah, but he had a really good season in Cincinnati.
Right, but again, the guy's a diva. He always had problems. He was always a ruckus, so I'm getting him out of there.
Still
talented, but I don't like drama. I want my guy. Look, I want my bad guys. I'll take my bad guys. I don't care what you do off the field. If you're a little crybaby all the time and want to get traded off your team, say, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. All these other guys suck. You're fucking up the chemistry in the locker room. If you're a good guy, fun guy to be around, and then you're murdering people in the streets, that's fine. I don't care. Do whatever the hell you want.
What is wrong with you?
What is up with Ed today, son?
But I'm benching Moss because, I'd like to keep him around because he's great. And, you got Moss. Yeah, that'd be great. How great would that be if you had Jerry Rice as your 1 and Randy Moss as your slot guy? Who the fuck is your 2?
Ridiculous, bro.
Who's your 2? Chris Collinsworth?
I'd be mad as hell showing up at game day, bro.
All right, so John, bench star cut. Moss, T.O., Jerry Rice.
The cutting out of these 3 was easy, but he's still very talented. I'm cutting T.O. T.O.
I think everybody cuts T.O.
Yeah,
Johnny,
I think
still
so.
Talented.
Johnny, do my dude right, because I do my dude right.
No, this is where it gets really hard because Randy Moss is my favorite football player all time. I'm a big fan of Randy, big fan of
Love
Randy.
Randy. Yeah, Randy's great.
And just off what I see, eye test, Jerry Rice had production. He had production over him. Also rings. But what I was gonna say, the year that Jerry Rice got the 22 touchdowns, he only played 12 games, but they were 16-game seasons.
Okay.
So he missed 4 games. So he missed 4. So the record would have been higher. Who knows?
Yeah, much higher. Absolutely.
Great,
30, bro.
but
That's 2 touchdowns, right? At least a game, right?
Yeah.
but I am definitely benching Jay Rice. I'm starting my guy Randy.
Let's go.
You starting for being biased.
I'm not gonna lie, Ed. It might be a little biasness.
All right,
Randy's
thank you. I appreciate it. Just
Randy
admit,
Moss-
just
Randy Moss
admit when you're being
my-
biased, and I'm cool with it, man.
He's my
No
favorite
beef.
football player. Unfortunately,
I respect it.
He had his shit too, where he was bugging out and doing shit.
What was that shit in Tennessee?
He had he had his antics also.
I would have feed that shit to my dog, son. Because they gave him like racist food, right? Is that what the real problem was in Tennessee?
I think that.
I think it was Tennessee. Yeah, it was Tennessee for a little bit.
I thought it was in Minnesota. That's why he got cut.
Definitely Tennessee. It was right after he got cut from
Minnesota.
Right after he left the Patriots, he was with Tennessee, and then he got cut.
He went from. Didn't he go from the Patriots to Minnesota?
I don't know. Minnesota. He's been there forever. He was with Minnesota for a long time.
He went back to Minnesota.
Oh, I didn't know he went back to Minnesota.
Yeah, now he went from the Patriots back to Minnesota. He played with Brett for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He went from Patriots to the Vikings. They traded him. Patriots.
No, but I think Tennessee was in between that. No.
No. Tennessee. It was Patriots, Vikings, Tennessee, and then he ended it with the 49ers.
Oh,
that was the last time he played with the 49ers. So I think that food situation happened in Minnesota. I remember seeing an interview. They said they looked at him crazy. I could be wrong, but I think that happened there. But obviously, he has antics too. But if you take the stats and everything away, you want all of them up,
talent
in his heat of his prime, can't stop Randy.
No, you're right. He did catch one over Revis Island.
He's 6'4", really fast. He's going right over the top. That's it. He put the finger up. That's it.
He played with white chocolate in high school.
He put the finger up.
Was his boy.
Chad Pennington? Or I think you said college.
You played with Chad Pennington in college.
Chad Pennington and Marshall. We are Marshall, baby.
But yeah, start Randy, bench Jerry, cut T.O. It was tough. All three are really great receivers. All very talented, but Randy Moss is my favorite player all the time.
I agree with you, Johnny. That would be my list as well. Drew, who you got? Star bench cut.
All right, Star bench cut. These all great receivers. As a consensus, we're all just cutting T.O. I'm thinking just like
poor T.O. man.
Yes, poor T.O. But you had a great career. You're still a legend.
Yeah, broke and all that's crazy. How you get free Jordans and you broke? Free Jordans, you end up broke, my nigga. Really? You couldn't sell this shit.
Okay. But for my starters, I'm just saying this is the rings. The rings just edges Jerry Rice a tick over Randy to me. I think I'm starting. Yes. I'm starting Jerry and I'm benching Randy. They're just the championships is just move it up for me.
Obviously also getting more since probably start down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good list, Drew. But again, go back to what Johnny culturally. Moss, all in my great receivers.
I know all culture.
That's for us,
I
though. understand all that. That's literally just for us. That's literally just for our generation, T.O.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see Randy.
Right.
We got to see bum Randy with bum Rich Gannon with the Oakland Raiders.
T.O. was in the
tail
league
end.
for Randy, if I'm not mistaken.
No. Yeah, of course. No, T.O., Randy, T.O. and Jerry played together. So T.O. was a little older than Randy.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the problem. T.O. was such a controversial guy, and he was such a fucking fuck you guy.
He's great.
He wasn't. Was Randy ever on a cover of Madden? No. But T.O. was on the cover of a 2K game, if I remember.
Randy was on 2K.
Yeah,
Randy was on 2K.
And T.O. was on 2K when he was with the Eagles.
Yeah, 2K5.
Yeah.
That was a really great football game.
That was the last 2K. That was a good 2K.
Remember when 2K
it was $20 too.
It was Ivo on the
Good days. The 2K was
Randy on the football.
Yeah. But what I guess what I'm trying to say is that for our generation, Randy Moss was the better receiver over Terrell Owens. When kids would catch footballs over their friends' heads, they would say Randy or Moss over T.O.
Till this day, the saying Moss still exists in football.
Yeah, but now they're saying,
Even
well,
now.
that's because that, and that's, but I'm saying that because he's on ESPN. That's where I bring that back. You
No,
got
it's
Moss
just-
as a full
it's a part
segment
of
on
the
Monday Night
culture
Football.
now.
But I'm
It's
telling
the
you
It
culture.
right
became
now,
a segment
the
because it
next
was already
generation's
It's
influencing
like
the
culture.
culture.
Moss, but the next generation's Moss is gonna be OBJ because of that fucking stupid ass.
But ain't nobody
Yo,
gonna
all
ever
these.
say.
Listen,
Ain't nobody
I
gonna
see
say
kids
you got
every day.
Yeah,
OBJ.
nobody
I see
gonna
kids
say
every
you
Nobody
get
day,
say
and
you
they
got
want
OBJ.
they say
Nobody say
OBJ.
that.
Nah, you're not
They say
getting no
OBJ. Now I'm
job.
telling you, you guys don't see the children like I see the children these days. All right,
They
I'm
gonna say
around
Nah,
children
it's
all
not
the
gonna
time.
happen.
No one says
Children
OBJ.
I
love
doubt
them some
Yeah,
that.
OBJ.
he's great.
They
But nobody
love
says
them
I
some
just
OBJ.
gonna.
Yo, if I see a kid on the street that says, "Oh, OBJ," I'm smacking shit at him. Like, you better
Yeah,
say
I
that.
would too, but you know I can't. I'm gonna get fired, man. Come on,
Moss.
I can't do
All
that.
right, so
What you just say?
But OBJ got a lot of great one-hand catches. He's
Right,
great.
right.
He's have
Nigga Eddie Trick
talented.
Daddy, he love
But
the
the more segment became the more segment because it was already involved.
A thing. Yeah. That's why I'm saying it's still relevant today. But if Moss wasn't still out here on ESPN doing his shit on Monday Night Football,
I don't think so.
I don't think it
I don't
stays
think
relevant.
so.
I don't
Yeah,
think so.
it's
I
still
think it
because
would.
We
we
would still
know.
be saying
I
it.
think it
I'm
would.
saying
We're the
us
only
as a
ones that grew up in the
generation.
generation. So
But I think the younger generation right now, the Gen Zs or whatever the fuck you want to call them, I don't think they'd be saying Moss. They don't even know who Moss is.
But still, people don't know who Jordan is. They wear Jordan shoes.
They wear Jordan shoes
Yeah,
because Jordan
Jordan.
shoes are everywhere, bro. Everybody
Again,
wears Jordan shoes.
Eddie,
That shit ain't never gonna die.
what I think about that is Gen Z, they probably don't know Moss, but they know the saying. And it's like, because it's in
Because
the
of
culture
ESPN, though.
football.
No,
Right now.
you have to think about it this way. If they have coaches, right, who are our age or older, they're most likely going to teach them, oh,
Yeah, you mocked his ass. You mocked his ass.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. All right, cool. All right, fine. I'm wrong.
All right, so
I'm mad enough to admit that's my bad.
Last star bench cut, we going WWE. We got The Rock.
The Attitude Era.
The Attitude Era.
The best
Attitude
era in the WWE
The best era
when we
of
were all like
WWE,
7.
WAF wrestling time to me. That's when I was heavy in it.
Mm-hmm.
We got The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Taker, The Undertaker. Johnny, to you first, start bench cut WWE
This is gonna be
professional
hard.
wrestling because there's been so many different shit.
all right, I'm not gonna lie.
My bench
These
and my
three
start is hard,
wrestlers,
bro. Like
these
it's
three
flip flop.
wrestlers is three of my favorites all
All
time.
time.
I love all three of them. Three of my favorites all time. But the starter is easiest. I'm starting Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay.
He's the greatest. He's the GOAT. Like
Warrior.
he really changed everything. Like obviously his run wasn't as long as others because the health issues, but
Right.
Stone Cold's the GOAT. Hands down. Like
Didn't
greatest wrestler.
Rashiki hit him with a car?
Oh, Keith hit him with the car. I remember that. But that storyline because my man Stone Cold was fucked up in the game. But
Right.
Stone Cold Steve Austin is the GOAT. Like,
all right, so that's your start.
You got to start. Now, when it gets to bench and cut, it really gets tricky.
You better.
Sorry, guys. All right, yeah.
Don't fuck this up.
If that's an attitude era. If y'all do attitude era, if we sticking to like that, it would make it a little more easier to make my decision. But my decision is like throughout. Overall.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bench The Undertaker.
Wow.
You came to rock in this thing?
Wow.
I'm gonna bench The Undertaker and cut The Rock. Look. The Rock is one of the greatest ever. But it's like, obviously now he's probably bigger than the WWE. Now, like,
period.
Like, but I'm basing it like off wrestling. We add all, everything else. The list might change, but off wrestling, Rock had a great run. But when he was like in it, Stone Cold was the best. That was the person they were chasing. He was the front runner. You had the Triple H's, everybody, Shawn Michaels.
The Rock is bigger than
The Rock is bigger than the brand, period. And we'll get to. I'll say my.
I'm gonna explain my decision.
Go ahead, John.
Undertaker, what he was able to he did this. He did the streak. He had the whole WrestleMania streak. His impact on the industry is like different. He's one of the greatest. Arguably is probably the greatest character ever created.
I
in
think
wrestling. And then he reinvented himself. He did the badass. He did his own shit.
That was probably my favorite Undertaker when he was.
Yeah, that's
the
the
most-
best Undertaker.
That was the Undertaker
Damn,
truest.
I agree with
who-
that.
No,
I
that was
agree.
the Undertaker truest to who he was. He wanted to be himself a little bit, but the dead man is the dead man. Like I said, it's a very, very hard decision. Like
They screwed up on the WrestleMania to me.
Who's the dude Undertaker used to have with him?
Paul Bearer.
Paul Bearer.
Paul Bear, yeah.
Paul.
Yeah,
He's
Grumble
a great
for a
hype
while
man
too, right?
with
RP
that
legend,
eerie
Paul
ass
Bear.
voice. That voice.
the
he used to
creepy
do.
voice. All right.
But no, like obviously The Rock is he's bigger than probably both of them worldwide now.
Right.
But my decision is made solely on on the wrestling standpoint.
Right.
Undertaker, for most people, Undertaker is. Some people think obviously all three of them. Everybody have that GOAT conversation for them three and other wrestlers. But to me, Stone Cold's the greatest, so he has to start. As wrestling, I gave Undertaker the right there, hedge him over The Rock just a little bit, the nudge, just a little bit. It's like that close.
Yeah.
Bench Undertaker, and I cut The Rock, and it's probably the hardest start bench cut I have to do, but that's my start bench cut. It's tough, but that's my three.
Yeah, I agree with you, John. I agree, and I respect it.
It's hard. I love The Rock.
DQ, who you got?
So I'm start. Okay, so
Our WWE analyst, by the way.
So I'm benching Stone Cold. Stone Cold is obviously one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, but his career-wise had a lot of stagnation in the beginning. He had that pocket from 1996 to 2000 where he was the littest nigga on earth. But Undertaker's literally been with the WWE since 1990. That's 30 years he's been with the company. 30 years, right? He's been able to change his character, come back every year, once a year, still get paid, and people are still entertained by this guy. He's been with the company for 30 years. Austin was with WCW. They let him go. ECW. He didn't even wrestle for them. He was a commentator. He went to WWE for the first time, had a trash gimmick, finally got over when he fought Jake the Snake Roberts at King of the Ring. But besides that, I had to start Undertaker. Just that longevity and the impact he has on the wrestling. And he was always that locker room leader that kept everything together behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I'm cutting The Rock because The Rock only wrestled for 7 years, and his movies is trash.
Not
He plays the same character in every movie.
You mean
Not
to tell me
every movie
that The Pacifier wasn't the greatest movie of all time? Is that what you're saying?
It's the same character.
Is that what you're saying?
If you watch G.I. Joe, right?
No.
They go to the bathroom.
Wrong movie.
And then,
That was Vin Diesel.
That was Vin Diesel.
He's the Tooth Fairy.
The other one, it was the same shit. He was a babysitter, security guard, whatever.
The Rock wasn't G.I. Joe though.
You know what I'm saying? But
He
if you watch G.I. Joe, right? Go to the bathroom and come back. And Fast and Furious is
I fucked up with the Pacifier. My bad.
Same shit though. He did another movie. It was the same shit.
He has no range.
So
he's himself.
What Ed talking about? Ed, he did the movie with The Rock. He was a football player. And
He's
then
The Rock
he did the Tooth Fairy.
The game plan.
You never seen Gridiron
The
Gang?
game plan. That's what I
He
meant.
did Gridiron Gang.
Oh, wait a minute. Time out.
Good one.
Walking Tall, Gridiron Gang? Come on, bro.
I just
Gridiron Gang is
mention.
good, bro.
I just found honorable mention.
All right, so
Right now, but Gridiron Gang.
That's a little
game
sneak
plan.
peek to the next segment, folks.
no. All right, so DQ, you still got the floor. You started Undertaker, bench The Rock. I mean bench Stone Cold.
I'm cutting The Rock. Rock is awesome, but it's like, he only wrestled for 7 years, and he has a great impact, but he's
a domination.
It's a great one, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Drew, you got.
All right. Let's just get this out of the way because this is tough for me. All right. I'm gonna do my cut. I'm gonna cut the Undertaker because like
it's hard,
bro. Like, but the only thing is like And I love how the best Undertaker was American Badass. That was my best Undertaker at
Keep
that
rolling,
point.
rolling.
I love American Badass, but we all know the Dead Man Undertaker's.
The Dead Man was the Dead Man is.
I mean, yeah, Dead
No,
Man.
The Undertaker like that. The Dead Man Undertaker. Like, come on, like.
I love the Undertaker, like, but it's just like Badass Undertaker was my shit. But to be honest, I would start Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's just that between that whole '90s period, that was my favorite wrestler. Like him and McMahon, just like the chemistry was like gold. Like I really like that whole like fucking with your boss type shit and nothing your boss can do about it. That just like say it all off for me. Like the whole character, like Stone Cold was just it for me. That's why I really started.
Then one time Vince tried to fire him, but then he got signed by Stephanie as like the president or something.
Exactly.
He got brought back. Vince's wife brought him back as the CEO.
And
that was back in like the Ministry of Darkness days when Vince was with the Undertaker. They collided the corporation with the Ministry of Darkness, the corporate ministry. They brought back.
One thing I can say about Undertaker though, he had everybody trying to roll their eyes in the back of their head doing the.
I can do it.
Like this is tough. I wish I could start.
Each three of them had some. Everybody tried to do the people's eyebrow.
Right.
Yeah. Everyone slammed beers like him.
The middle finger but everybody was more throwing the middle finger because of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like,
and everybody did do the Rock. What's your name is? It
doesn't matter what your name is.
Yeah, The Rock had the catchphrases for days. That's why I said so. It's really tough. It was tough.
Well, this means a lot to me. I was a huge wrestling fan. There was a brief moment in my life when I was a young child and I aspired to be a wrestler. Never was going to happen. I was going to be Jeff Hardy's protege. I was hoping he was going to take me on. It didn't happen. He ended up signing Kellen Moore, that fucking loser. Yeah, how did his career turn out? So a big part of wrestling is the gimmick and, how you can present yourself. And no one presented themselves better than The Rock. I mean, the guy has his promos are some of the best promos you've ever seen in your life.
It is.
Because of what we've said before and what we've discussed before, The Rock would be The Rock without himself. Dwayne Johnson is a bigger brand than The Rock will ever be and will ever become. So The Rock's going to just leave me anyway. So you know what? I'm going to cut you, man. I'm going to cut you so you can go out there and make me some pretty good movies, DQ. They're not all bad. Some of them were good. Kevin mentioned some of them. Walking Tall, The Rundown was great. I love that movie.
I love The Rundown.
He was great in The Tooth Fairy or DQ. They're not all bad. And hello, he's family now. He's part of the freaking Fast and the Furious saga.
The Rundown and Walking Tall.
Yeah, same movie. 100% same movie. I agree with you. They were great. He was terrible in The Scorpion King. And we won't talk about that. And The Mummy Returns. The Mummy Returns. So I'm cutting The Rock mostly because, again, what you said, DQ, his longevity was not there. He's kind of like a silver spoon wrestler. And even now, like that whole family tree, they're still wrestling with the Usos and that the big girl, whatever her name is. Who cares?
Nia Jax.
Yeah, thank you. Nia Jax. Thank you. So that being said, I'm going to go back to it all with the gimmicks and stuff. Steve Austin was second best. I love that Steve Austin, The Rock saga that they did. I love the Steve Austin, Vince McMahon saga that they did when Vince McMahon was in the hospital on a leg chair and Austin beat the shit out of him. And they hated each other forever. And then Austin wanted to be his best friend. I love that whole gimmick. But as much as I love Steve Austin and as much as I want to be given a hell, I drink more beer than he does, for God's sakes. But I got to bench him. Because Undertaker is the GOAT. What we've all been saying, man. He's got the longevity. He's got the promos. Anytime anyone hears the lights go off, right, in the middle of the arena, lights go off, and all you hear is, that scares people, man.
Yeah.
That scares everyone. And I'm oh, shit. shit, here
That
he
shit,
comes.
that shit is very impactful, but I think
It's
when you hear
iconic.
I still
it's
hear with the
iconic, but hearing the glass shatter is
glass
just as
shatters.
iconic. When that glass shatter is like, oh, it's
True.
lit.
And that's why I'm keeping him on my bench because I know I could
Nah,
use
that
him.
glass shatter.
That's
you hear
why I
that
can
shit,
use him.
it
I
get
can use it.
real.
I'm in the craft beer industry. Steve Austin has his own beer in the craft beer industry now. A California brewery. Not going to plug who they are because they don't pay us. But they made a beer based off of him. The sales on that beer are through the roof. It's insane. It's crazy. But it's still Undertaker for me.
Tough.
Copy. All right, Kev. Last but not least, who you got?
Cutting the Undertaker.
Uh,
Fuck, nigga.
Kev don't watch wrestling.
I did. I love the Undertaker too, bro. But my favorite wrestler was The Rock, and my second favorite was Stone Cold. So I'm starting Rocky, and I'm benching Stone Cold. Because again, a badass white boy is always safe to come off.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
all right, so let's start bench cut. If it was me, I would start Stone Cold, bench The Rock, and also cut the Taker. I love Undertaker, but I wasn't as big a fan of him. I used to root against him a lot. So
All right.
let's start bench
Listen,
cut.
just next time the power goes out, Kevin Dev,
Just know what
you
it
know
is.
who's there.
Know what time it is.
And it's
And
like,
you know,
Undertaker.
and you know when that glass shatter, motherfuckers is getting stunned and motherfuckers is drinking beer, sticking the middle finger, fuck the world.
Yeah.
Fuck the establishment.
All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back.
And
Welcome
we're back.
to
Sorry.
the OSA Out of Shape Allstars. We were just doing our Star Bench Cut WWE. Everybody went, right? Kev, you was last.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yes,
Kev had.
for the Undertaker.
So he it was quiet for the Undertaker. Next, we're going to get into the five, which is my favorite segment, and this one is a good one. We're doing
Stressful is what it is.
five
Stressful.
top five
You know what's crazy?
Sports-
I changed my list by the time we
sports
got here.
movies. Again,
I refuse to change my list, but we'll discuss
I
it.
changed it a couple times.
1 through 3
Changed my
still
list a
locked.
couple
4
times.
5 change.
yeah.
4
So
5
top
change.
5 sports movies, 5-1. Everyone's going to go 5-1. Top 5 sports movies. I'm gonna start with myself.
Okay.
Conceded.
At number 5, I have the Mighty Ducks series,
Oh, I'm bugging.
Saga.
the saga,
That's good.
because I couldn't pick one.
You can't.
So I picked the Mighty Duck saga as
That makes one of my
number 5.
picks more easier. That makes one
Great.
of my
Great sports movie. You got my boy Kenan Thompson in there with the knuckle puck. You got the Bash Brothers. Just a lot of good characters, a lot of good moments. Coach Bombay, just
Emilio Estevez, baby.
Emilio Estevez.
Emilio!
Emilio!
Again, for kids growing up in the 90s, Mighty Ducks made us want to play hockey. Made
All
us want
black
to play
kids want
street
to play hockey.
hockey.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Keenan was out there doing it. We could do it.
Yeah, Mighty Ducks definitely. And then when they went to the hood and they were playing the street hockey, and they had to learn from the black kids and the Spanish kids in the hood how to check and stuff. Great moment. So Mighty Ducks series is number 5 for me. Kev, what you got at number 5?
I'm gonna have to co-sign that. Number 5, I definitely had a Mighty Ducks. I think as we go up our list, I think things will get a little bit more controversial. But yeah, definitely the Mighty Ducks movies, like every single one of them, just that's classic for us. You know what I mean? That's our traditions. That's one of the gems right there, for real.
All right, Eddie, number 5.
So we'll talk about honorable mentions later. But my number 5, it's only one. The first one, because the rest of them were pretty bad, but it's that Angels in the Outfield. I mean, you had a baby Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
You had a prime Tony Danza. Yeah. You had a Donald Glover who was not too old for this shit. He was full for it and believed in a small little orphan boy.
Danny Glover.
Danny. Sorry, I said Donald.
You call
Who
that?
believed in a small boy who saw angels. And guess what? There were angels. And don't forget, Matthew McConaughey caught that ball. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
what a good movie. And
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd as the head angel, pretty much telling Tony Danza when he was going to
That's definitely
die,
a
or
good
not
movie.
telling Tony Danza, telling Joseph Gordon-Levitt when Tony Danza was going to
Right.
die. Still a great movie. Was one of the VHSs that my brother and I would always watch
Turn
together
out,
as
yeah.
kids, and just
This
kept
is
it on a loop
difficult.
over and over and over and
Now
over
that's
again.
a
So Angels in the
that's a
Outfield,
great pick, Eddie. Great pick.
my number 5.
Johnny, number 5. What you got?
I definitely swapped 4 and 5. Like I've been fixing my list. Number 5, I put Hardball.
Oh.
Oh, shit, John!
Hardball.
Like,
Damn!
Hardball is definitely my number 5.
Yeah.
Like
And that happened in
it was
my
definitely,
city.
you know what I'm saying? It was definitely higher on my list. But then, like when I started remembering other sports movies, I was moving my list around. But Hardball is my number 5.
I go by.
Yeah.
I mean, if I go by sports, maybe easier. But thinking this 5 is
Yo,
different. Shit.
I forgot about Hardball. They had a
Me too.
young
Michael
ugly
B.
Michael B. Jordan when he was looking like a
Mhm.
fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't forget Keanu, who we'll see later in this list.
Keanu.
Oh, yeah, definitely not later on this list.
Yeah, that was a good pick. Shout out to my homie G Baby. I had number 5. Who you got? AD.
Yo, I definitely concur with my man Devin Jet, Mighty Ducks, bro. It was like the acting was just it for me. Like I loved that whole movie.
Mike Ducks was a moment, bro.
Mighty Ducks, man.
It was.
The lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
DQ. Number 5. What you got?
This is like the hardest I've ever had to make in my life, but Rookie of the Year is my number 5.
That's a
Wow.
I love Rookie of the Year.
DQ loving the baseball. I
great
love the
pick.
baseball movies in
Great
here.
Great pick.
Yeah, I never
He
saw
broke
that.
his arm and could throw heaters, but as soon as his shit went away, to me the ending was kind of bullshit to me because
What was it?
the chance
Picture
him.
got a big butt? No, what's the
Yeah,
name?
picture got a big butt.
Mm-hmm.
But like the ending was a little off because the fact that him throwing the underhand lob to the cleanup hitter, him not hitting that shit to the moon is some bullshit. But I love that movie though. This like
great movie.
It was either between this one or The Sandlot, but it was in between.
Oh,
Wow.
Sandlot.
Wow.
Yeah, you just
Why
named my
you
number 4.
giving that up, man?
Number 4. That's my number 4.
All right, so
Alright,
John, you want to just give your number 4 since
All right,
we
so
went
number
around?
4, Johnny, kick it off.
Number 4 is Sandlot. Great
Mhm.
movie.
pick.
I love that movie. That was my number 4.
Great movie.
Sandlot.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl. No, that's a great movie. All right, so we're gonna go. I'm gonna go number 4. My number 4 is my homie. My name is Willie. Willie Beeman. I keep it ladies. Beeman. Any Given Sunday was my
Right.
movie growing up. Al Pacino,
Hoorah!
LL Cool J. Yeah, we shut him down. Come on, that soundtrack was fire, huh?
There's some dunces in that.
It's a bunch of
Yeah,
people in
it's
there.
a collection of great
Yeah,
people
it's a
in that
bunch
movie.
of
Yeah,
people in there.
very good movie. Again, didn't make my list, but definitely an honorable mention
And-
for sure.
hear the
I was
story-
on me trains like crazy now.
And the story behind Any Given Sunday when Jamie Foxx got beat up by LL Cool J makes the movie even better. And it's a lot of stuff that's allegedly happens behind the scenes. And they had a lot of former pros in the movie to co-sign that a lot of experiences were real for a lot of players. So Any Given Sunday is my number 4. Who you got at number 4, Kev?
So again, you took my number 4, but I'm pretty sure my top 3 will be different. Is Any Given Sunday because I watch that movie at least 3-4 times a year. I got it like sitting right here in my collection somewhere. But yeah, that's my
VHS or DVD?
DVD.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You don't have to go get it.
on the front.
No, this is right here.
Hey, there it is. Wow.
Great movie. Great
I
movie.
wanted to put it higher, but it can't go higher than 4.
All right, Eddie, who you got at number 4?
I mean, so let me tell you guys a quick story.
Oh my God.
Where 3 guys go out golfing. One guy goes to go retrieve his ball. and get sucked into a Looney Tune world.
Yeah.
We're talking Space Jam, man.
Yeah.
So this list is based off of the movies I grew up with, and then ones that I learned to love later.
Right.
And then again, we'll talk more about honorable mentions. But yeah, my number 4 is Space Jam. It was so good. I mean, you mix cartoons and sports for a 9-year-old. That's like fucking mixing crack and fucking sugar. You know, like I was all in.
That has to be my.
I mean, it was just so good. Like between like the Michael Secret stuff and the spit shine scene and Bill Murray. I mean, a Bill Murray that I didn't even know existed and how big of a person he was as far as in Hollywood up until like I got a little older and started watching stuff like Ghostbusters and started watching Groundhog Day and all that other fun stuff. And The Big Lebowski, which is also an honorable mention if you count bowling. Yeah, Space Jam. Michael Jordan, he's the GOAT. Yeah. More foreshadowing into the next segment.
Got you.
Space Jam.
All right, AD, number 4. What you got?
Yo, I'm just gonna be totally honest. Like, Eddie, you just bait me into picking Space Jam as my 4. Like, you just totally switched. You just totally switched up my list. I
Wait, you didn't have Space Jam on your list?
I mean, how Space Jam isn't on all of our lists.
Like I really
get up. It's time to jam now.
You just made me remember all the shit, bro.
Space Jam.
That's
the Space Jam.
You got me.
We're going by sports.
Good times.
We're going by those movies. So
DQ, number 4.
My number 4. Oh damn. I'm just y'all already pretty much out the goals, but so based on what you're already saying, I'm just gonna add to them because I don't want to keep saying the same shit, rebuttaling it. I gotta put the Waterboy number 4.
Yeah, good pick.
That's definitely
about it.
I definitely forgot about
honorable mention.
That is a definitely good pick.
Great pick. Well, we're getting to number 3. I'm gonna kick it out because it's already been said. My number 3 is Space Jam. Got my man's Mike. Got Bugs Bunny and the Looney Tunes. You got Muggsy Bogues, Sean Bradley, Larry Johnson, Patrick Ewing, Larry Bird. You got
Chuck in there.
Bill Murray. Got mad people in there, and that little funny short dude who was Michael's assistant from Seinfeld.
Oh yeah, from Jurassic Park. Hey, little guy.
So great movie. Grew up watching it. Space Jam, man. It was lit.
On a loop. Space Jam.
Kev, who you got at number 3?
Number 3, loving basketball, bro.
All the
love your rom-coms.
Basketball.
Yo, I don't care what y'all gotta say, bro.
Oh yeah, we got it. You got it. Mike Epps is great.
That movie never gets.
I told you I was gonna be on Kev's list. I told you.
Hey, Mike.
Omar. I said Mike. I bet.
Omar. Yeah.
Omar. Othello.
For me, that's my number 3.
Yo, loving basketball is so fucking toxic, bro.
It is a toxic.
It's a bad movie.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
It's not a bad movie.
Yeah,
it's not a bad movie. There were bad people, but it's not a bad movie.
It's a classic.
They are 2 of the worst people I've ever seen in the film. As a kid, I used to love it. Watching it now, yo, they are bad people. All right, never mind. Eddie, who's got number 3?
Okay, my number 3. Again, I have to give you guys stories.
Okay.
So the league shuts down. Players can't play. The Washington Sentinels need to put a product on the field.
Word, that's
Who do they have trotting out there as their starting quarterback? No one other than Shane Falco.
Yes, sir.
Motherfucking Falco.
They get a cop, a prison inmate to play safety.
Yeah. They had a dump
get 2 twin brothers who shoot up a car.
Yeah, the bouncers. They had the bouncers.
So my number 3 is The Replacements. One of the greatest movies of all time, period. Not just sports movies. The only reason why it's down there is because I love sports so much, and there are other sports movies that I enjoy more. But The Replacements.
Yeah,
ole.
They had the sumo. They had the drunk kicker. They had the pastor at fullback. They had the deaf dude at tight end. Great. And then they had my boy with the sticky comedian.
Clifford Franklin.
Yeah, Clifford Franklin.
Clifford Franklin.
Clifford
I look like I just jacked off an elephant. I mean, so quotable. So great.
Word.
John
Nah,
Favreau, by the way. John
Yeah.
Favreau, who is crushing it
Yeah,
everywhere on all platforms,
yeah.
was the psychopathic linebacker, I guess he was for a little
Yeah,
bit.
right.
Yeah. Danny, go get me the ball. I got you the ball!
Nah, that's a great movie. Dang, I should have put that on my list. I ain't gonna put it. I'm not gonna add it now, but great pick, Johnny.
Greatest football movie of all time, hands down.
My number 3 is The Replacements. That's where I had it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was switching it from 2 and 3, but number 3
Yeah.
is The Replacements. Shane Falco. Me and
yeah.
Eddie's on the same page.
A
with
great
our number
collective.
threes.
Great collective of players. Drew, who you got at number 3?
Remember the Titans, man.
Good pick, Drew.
Everywhere we go, people want to know who we are.
We are. So we tell them we are the Titans, mighty tight. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Jet, what's your 3? What's your 3, Jet?
DQ, who you got at 3?
So this is the hardest list ever. So
So
are
hard.
we just going by like fictional?
What means the most to you, bro?
To
Right
you,
here.
what
means
to
the
you,
most-
bro?
You feel right here.
You're 5. DQ, you're
Yeah.
5.
What means the
You're
most-
five.
We're gonna go through honorable mentions later.
Is
Yeah.
your five,
Okay.
bro.
So like, even though I love the movie, I probably watch the movie more than any movie ever. But y'all all already said it. Y'all already said Space Jam. I absolutely love this movie, but number 1 is so important to me.
Wait,
that
we didn't get to number 1 yet.
No, I'm saying, but
two.
I'm explaining.
Yeah.
Segue.
It would be my number 1, but this movie I feel is more important than this, and Space Jam's not my number 2. So I put Space Jam my honorable mentions for now. But my number 3 has to be The Express.
Okay.
I like
That's-
the
That's the story about the dude who got drafted by the Browns,
Right.
and then we got to play because he had leukemia before.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Jim
Who
Brown.
was it? Who
I
saw that
never
movie?
watched it, but I've heard of it.
It's a great movie.
I'm gonna watch it now. That's why we do these lists.
Right.
Yeah, the kid from Coach Carter plays like the star in that, right?
Yeah.
Another honorable mention here, Coach
Word.
Carter.
Coach Carter, another good one. All right, so
Yeah.
we had number 2. All right, I'm gonna get it to my number 2.
Man, I can't believe
Number 2, I got He Got Game. Denzel Washington, Ray Allen, Jesus, Shuttlesworth. And again, it's number 2 to me. It wasn't a lot of basketball even in the movie.
Word.
It was just life of a young sports prodigy and the shit that they go through and the people trying to get over. Then you got the dad who accidentally killed the mom, but still trying to be a good dad and teach his son right. But the son ain't fuck with him.
So piggybacking off of you real quick, I know it's an honorable mention for me, but Basketball Diaries is very similar to that. Leo doing the same shit, the shit that goes through a young athlete trying to fucking make it.
So yeah, number 2, He Got Game. That's where I'm at. Kev, what you got for number 2?
Pick number 2 because we all like to grind, we all like to hustle, and sometimes you gotta be the hustler and hustle people. So
You're going with it.
Jump at 2.
Yeah, he went with it. Yeah. That's my
White Man
Can't Jump.
Oh my
One
God!
of the best movies ever. Should have made my list, but didn't, unfortunately.
White Man Can't Jump is on my honorable mentions.
Yeah, honorable. It's the
That's
number
my
1
list.
honorable I got.
And what's the female star in that again? What's her name?
That's
Rosie Perez.
Rosie Perez.
Rosie Perez.
Yeah.
My number 2
Yeah. Rosie Perez was a smoke show in that time, but Rosie Perez don't really like men. So
If you watch was it Do the Right Thing?
Ed.
Got them tic
it's true. It's true. Like she literally came out. Like that's all out in the open. That's okay. I mean, I love her. She's a great actress, and she doesn't like men.
No, Rosie Perez was hot back then.
But beautiful.
So number 2,
God,
Kev,
so
you
beautiful.
got White Man Can't Jump. Eddie, who you got at number 2?
My number 2 is a saga of movies. Some people think they were good. Some people think they were bad. It's about a ragtag group of guys that are just trying to beat out the New York Yankees because the New York Yankees are the best team in the Major League forever. The name of the series is Major League. You talk about Ricky Vaughn Wild Thing.
That's
He's
definitely my
talking
honorable
about
mention
Wesley
too.
Snipes got replaced
Yeah.
by Omar Epps, but everybody
Right.
ignored that in Major League 2. Either way, number 1 was great. Number 2 was even better. You got a young Allstate guy commercial as Pedro Serrano. You telling me Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball? Like,
Right.
all that, man. I mean, just give me all of it. Even that, like, back to the minors bullshit where you had my guy Jack from Boy Meets World. What the fuck is his name? Matthew Lawrence was in it, and he was like a big shot. It was terrible. It was just a
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
bad movie. But it was very 1 and 2 are the top. Back to the minors was whatever. But Serrano was back. The little Asian guy was back. That was fun.
Right.
Yeah, Major League is my this whole saga too, but mostly
Number
1.
2. All right, Johnny, who you got at number 2?
Space Jam. Space Jam is my number 2.
Yeah.
You know, while I was making my list, Space Jam, there's another one that moved around the list.
Yeah.
2 to 5. There was a lot of moving around, but Space Jam is my number 2.
Copy. I mean, that's a strong number 2 because I originally had Space Jam honestly at 1.
I wanted to, but
Yeah, I moved it around just going through the list. But Drew, who you got at number 2?
My number 2 is actually easy for me. Like I loved his acting in this movie, which was Denzel and Ray Allen. He got game. He got game was my number 2. Yeah.
It's a good pick. And they also had Rick Fox in there too.
all right.
He took Jesus to
Rick Fox was a big actor for a long time, no?
He's acting now, like he does a lot of Tyler Perry stuff, which Tyler
Yeah,
Perry. But
Wasn't he in like a couple soap operas too? Like
probably.
daytime TV
he's
shit?
appeared in soap operas. He's been on like those CSI shows. He's been everywhere.
It's because he's a pretty boy,
Right.
Rick Fox. He's a cute guy.
He's cute.
Good looking guy. Yeah,
So
pretty boy.
But Rick Fox was in there. He was the one who was showing Jesus around at the college, and they were smashing the white girls.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good number 2, Drew. DQ, who you got at number 2?
Number 2 is The Sixth Man.
Oh,
I totally forgot about that shit.
Forgot about that movie.
I forgot about that movie.
Love that movie.
Damn.
Like, just imagine you have like an older brother who's better you in sports, and he dies on the court.
that man Kareem,
Yeah.
Kadeem Anderson or Kadeem something like that.
Yeah, from different world.
That's a good pick.
From a different world.
And speaking of Marlon Wayans, honorable mention, Above the Rim. My man's mom was in that too.
I was trying to remember that title. I was trying to remember that. I
had Above the Rim
remember that
on here, right? But when I went back to search sports movies, I saw The Sixth Man, and I didn't like how they did Bernie Mac in Above the Rim, so I put The Sixth Man instead. Tupac's a
Another honorable mention.
All right, so Eddie, Bernie Mac, when he was
Mr. 300.
Mr. 3000, baby. Yeah, that's another honorable mention. Come on. He taught all them young bloods how to play baseball. R.I.P. to the god, Bernie Mac, man.
Another one. R.I.P. Bernie. All right, we about to get into the number 1.
Obvious.
Number 1.
Obvious.
All right, so my number 1 is my guy, Jamie Foxx. Also, my other guy, Will Smith, and Ali. That's my number.
Shit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't disagree with you. Great movie, but I considered boxing and like all those other like not the 4 major sports as honorable mentions.
Okay. But I'm just saying, great acting.
Mm-hmm. No, great movie. Great movie.
Yeah,
great
movie. Just a well put together movie.
I mean, the movie won Oscars.
Will Smith did great. Jamie Foxx did great. What's the guy he played? He's Angelina Jolie father.
John Voight.
He played the sportscaster that was messing with Ali. I can't remember his name, but he's a famous sportscaster. Just a great collection, great acting all around. It's long as hell, but
still a great movie.
My movie might be the longest one on this list.
Still great movie. They had James Toney playing Joe Frazier. James Toney, who was a good boxer, great boxer in the early 2000s. Just a great movie, man. So my number 1 is my guy Ali, And then Ali just being the guy that he is, being pro-black, being everything he stands for, just to see Will recreate that was a great movie. So, Kev, what you got at number one?
I thought my number one was cliche but obvious. Is definitely Remember the Titans. It's a movie that takes you on a full journey, like takes you through every emotion like you can possibly imagine. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just from the racism in it, you know what I mean, and then
It was the time. What the time was, right?
the injury to the main white boy. I mean, yo, the movie's just like, yeah. I mean, all
Let's
about
never forget too. Bitches love Ryan Gosling in that in real life now, but he was a goddamn liability sitting in that corner. That fucking guy, man, he would get smoked every play. Ryan Gosling, come on, you could build a house in the Notebook, but you can't cover a wide receiver.
My homie Sunshine came in. Sunshine came in cooking. All right, Ed, who you got at number one?
My number one, I obviously is light in complexion as I seem. Baseball is one of my favorite sports as much as I love football more than anything. Baseball is the only reason why I even like sports. So let me tell you about a kid who didn't know who Babe Ruth was. My number one is The Sandlot. I mean, you throw like a girl, you're killing me, Smalls, James Earl Jones, a fucking vicious beast. That was just a pretty normal dog. That was just like, if you like, the movie would have ended if they were just like, hey man, we just, hey, can we get our ball back?
If you think about it, the dude's stepdad had no right to be mad. He traded him a big ball for the entire roster of the Yankees with Babe Ruth on it. That's a better trade. Fuck the boy he lost.
Come on, guy. But still, great movie. Really got me into sports. It was like one of the first sports movies I've ever seen as a kid. My uncle is like one of the biggest influences that I have in sports. Named after him too. Kev knows him. Weird guy, but definitely is very influential to my life. Showed me that movie. That was one of the first sports movies I've ever watched. That's why The Sandlot means so much to me. So that's my number one.
No, good pick because Sandlot again
made my top five.
Was one of those childhood movies that like I never forget. Sandlot, Little Giants, movies like that.
No one said that.
Little Giants,
honorable mention. Little Giants wanted to be there, but
Sandlot, I'm not a big fan of baseball, but I definitely wanted to play once I saw The Sandlot. So Johnny, number one, make it count.
My number one is the Rocky series.
Rocky 1 and 2?
Rocky 1, 2. 3 was good. No, when you had
3
was not that good.
4 and 5 was the worst though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Rocky 4 wasn't bad.
But both the series, you can actually include Creed in Balboa in it too, so it's all the same.
Nah, listen. 1 through 4 was amazing. 5, they went a little off script with that, and then 6 came out years later. But the Rocky series as a whole is number one.
Yeah, Rocky
the first movie is probably the greatest sports movie.
I mean, Rocky himself, Rocky Balboa, is one of the most famous sports figures ever, and he ain't even real.
Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
Nah. See,
I always go back to anytime anyone brings up Rocky, I always go back to Eddie Murphy Raw's stand-up. He's like, oh yeah, you saw how Rocky took on that fucking Moliere, and like every Italian in that time. Again, thank God we didn't grow up in that time, guys. But in that time, like it inspired a lot of Italians. So Johnny, I understand why you made that pick.
Rocky. I enjoy all the Rocky movies. Obviously, some better than others, but that's crazy. Rocky 3 was good. Eye of the Tiger,
that's dope. That's
guy's ass beat by Mr. T, and came back, beat him, and then number 4 with Drago, the whole U.S. versus Russia shit.
R.I.P. to the God, Creed, Apollo.
No, Rocky culturally.
We didn't grow up during the Bronx Tale time and shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Singing what was up with Italians singing doo-wop on the streetlights? In 2020, that's pretty, I don't know. But, back then, that shit was cool, bro.
No, Rocky, again, ain't even a real person, but he got his own statue. So, like,
100%.
That's iconic. Good pick, John. Drew, who you got at number one?
I just really like they took like the sport and made this movie really like took the sport of basketball and made like really street and like made like the hustle dynamic of this, which is white man can't jump. Like
Great movie.
like the hustle dynamics in that movie is like you can take like it's basically saying like don't ever underestimate nobody on the game of basketball because this guy can bust your ass.
Right.
It's like don't take anybody no lightly in that.
I love Woody Harrelson as an actor. Too, by the way.
No,
He's
Woody
so
Harrelson
great.
is a great actor.
He's so good.
Yeah. And, okay. And speaking of honorable mention and
Trying to tell us
Speedball,
something, bro.
Drew, to piggyback off you, honorable mention the and one mixtape.
I'm about to say that.
Yeah.
I got you.
What happened to Johnny?
We lost him.
Yeah,
We
he
lost
lost
Johnny
him.
Wi-Fi.
I thought he had the Ethernet hooked up.
Wi-Fi. You got the Ethernet in there.
Wow.
All right, so we got Johnny. At least we got Johnny number one. DQ, what you got at number one?
So my number one is probably the longest movie on this list, clocking in at 5 hours. Right?
Whoa.
It's 5 hours long.
What's
It takes place in Devin's hometown.
What's this? Amistad?
No, Hoop Dreams.
I'm like,
Oh,
yo,
yeah, right.
I've never seen
Dreams
that.
is hands down
I've never
the
seen it.
best.
It's 5 hours
That's
long.
because-
I ain't got time
No,
for that.
so pretty much why it's 5 hours long is because it's about these two kids,
What
two
movie?
Chicago kids,
Hoop
named
Dreams,
Arthur
Kev.
Agee and William Gates. It takes place from them being in 6th grade all the way to them graduating high school. So they all have dreams of making the NBA, right? So pretty much this filmmaker like knows that they're coming up in the city, so he decides, okay, he wants to document their story and pretty much. So pretty much William Gates was the one that kind of went to college and excelled, but Arthur Agee was the one who got like fucked over by his coach because his height stopped around like I guess like 5'9", 5'10", and his coach kept bitching to him about when he's gonna grow and shit. And they gave him a scholarship to a private school, but then the fucking Arthur over because they wanted him to pay $20,000 to continue to go to the school when he didn't have it because he's from the fucking inner city. Then his pops ends up dying. Then freaking William Gates, his dumbass, had a kid when he's in 10th grade. And then he went to college, pretty much, almost made it, but he pretty much quit after his senior season about playing basketball. But the thing about it is, we watched the movie, this other NBA players at the Nike camp went to actually go to the NBA, like Juwan Howard. He meets Isaiah Thomas. There's a bunch of people in the background who actually go to the NBA. So the fact that you see these kids actually grow up in this movie from the time they're in 6th grade all the way to the time they graduate high school, pretty much.
Yeah.
And like every kid had to be in the NBA, but not people don't know how hard it's actually get there. And these kids they document everything that they went through.
Now, Hoop Dreams is definitely a doc. It's a good movie. You gotta watch it. It takes a while.
I'll watch it now. Yeah, definitely watch it now.
But no, it's a good movie though.
That's the type of movie ain't streaming nowhere, bro.
It's on HBO on the 25th.
Depends on what you can do with streaming, legally or illegally.
I'll get a VPN.
Or get a VPN.
We're getting Johnny back in.
While we get Johnny, can I just rattle off a few honorables?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm going to go nuts. I'm going to go just crazy. I'm going to say the ones that we haven't mentioned yet. Dodgeball, if you count that. Cool Runnings, Field of Dreams, We Are Marshall, Happy Gilmore, Caddyshack, Big Lebowski, if you count it, because it's bowling. Coach Carter, Friday Night Lights, Moneyball, Remember the Titans, we said that. The Longest Yard, we didn't say, which I was pretty depressed about, guys. Gridiron Gang, Mr. 3000, A League of Their Own, and so on and so forth.
You said
who else got some?
I didn't say that. Blue Chips technically in the legal movie, right? Because Penny Hardaway wasn't in the NBA yet. He was still in college when he teamed up with Shaq.
Penny Hardaway.
Radio, Like Mike.
Joanna Man. That's another one.
Oh, yeah. That was...
Oh, God, it was so bad.
And what's the movie with Sandra Bullock?
Blindside.
Blindside.
Yeah.
Uncle Drew was a good movie.
I didn't
Yep.
like Blindside mostly because Patrick Willis had the same story as Michael Orr, and it was much darker. But whatever this guy is that got it,
Oh, damn.
Blindside was
We
the lighter
forgot
side of it.
42.
42.
Yeah,
Oh,
we did
shit.
forget
Good shit.
42.
Yeah, 42.
Well, Michael Orr said that story was
42.
kind of they embellished a bit on that
But
story.
Michael Orr and Patrick Willis were drafted in the same class, and they have pretty much the same story.
Yo,
I
40,
gotta say semi-pro.
Almost like to the freaking T. But Patrick Willis had siblings,
yo, 42.
and both of his parents were fucking fuck ups, not just his mom, like Michael Orr was.
Right.
You got to say semi-pro.
Semi-pro,
Semi-pro?
blindside, those definitely.
Talladega Nights,
Blaze
Yo.
of Glory.
Bobby.
Blades of Glory is another good one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you
Y'all
count
said
that.
semi-pro?
Yeah.
What was that one with DQ? Since ice skating, what was that one with I Tanya.
Yeah, I told you.
That one was dark. If you guys ever seen that movie,
I
that
never
movie's
saw that one.
fuck.
I just saw
That movie's
one.
crazy.
42
That's with the
was
chick
trash.
from,
Margot Robbie,
Celtic
Harley
Skies,
Quinn,
the one
she
with
crushes
David
it.
Lynch.
right. No, I never saw that one.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
no, it's another
Oh, Miracle! I crossed it off, but I didn't see it here. Miracle. That's another
what's
good
the
one.
name of that movie? Which
Which one, Sean?
was dope. It was
Oh,
the racing,
damn.
the
You
racing
forgot
movie with
Air
Sylvester Stallone. The racing movie with Sylvester Stallone.
the what?
Oh wait, if we talking like crazy sports, I mean, Enter the Dragon, Karate Kid,
What about rollerball?
Yo,
Rollerball.
bro.
Roll ball.
Does roller bounce count with a little bow wow since
Roll
he
bounce?
get mentioned
Nah,
twice?
skate
No, I'm
don't,
gonna
it
forget
don't roll. It
base-
don't count. It don't count.
ATL, because you had Ti with that.
It
Yo,
don't count.
Driven
about sport.
Driven with Sylvester
What
Stallone was a
about the
good.
movie
Driven.
with
If I say Talladega Nights, I could say Driven.
Tom Hanks and Madonna? They were the baseball movie.
That's amazing.
I said that. I mentioned
yeah,
that.
A League of Their
I said A
Own.
League of Their Own. I said that. That was one of
League
my
of Their
Does
Own.
basketball count?
Basketball definitely counts. Great movie. Good choice.
Yeah.
The comebacks.
The comeback.
Oh, I
The
can't get
comebacks
these
is
two.
good.
ACL tear.
ACL tear.
I gotta pick these two because I was big into rollerblading, so I gotta pick Brink and Airborne.
Brink! Soul Skaters, bro. That's my favorite all-time Disney, original channel movie.
Yeah, me
All
too.
time.
That and Motocross.
Motocross was okay. Johnny Tsunami, I guess you could throw in there, too, if we're talking about all Disney stuff. What was that other one? The Luck of the Irish, but that was pretty whack.
What
I didn't
about
really like that one.
what about Surf Ninjas?
What is it?
Surf Ninjas.
Surf Ninjas. I don't remember that one.
That's what Rob Schneider.
If we
This
talking
one, what about
karate,
the other Disney
Three Ninjas is
with
the
the
best
two- the
karate
two
movie,
sisters
hands
that
down.
play.
All of them.
That's the one with Rob Schneider and the guy that was in the Ninja Turtles too.
Right.
Yeah. Benchwarmers, if we're talking about Schneider, that's another one. Bad News Bears, the original and the new one.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah. I just recently watched the original the other day. It was pretty good.
All right, guys. So that's 5-5. The honorable mentions is great, but the top five.
I missed before. What was everybody's number one? Obviously, my core.
Oh, Sandlot, John, for me.
You heard all of it.
I heard yours. I didn't hear Durant, DQ, or Cavs.
White Man Can't Jump.
White Man Can't Jump. Said Hoop Dreams.
Yeah.
Kev.
Remember the Titan.
Oh, I did fake it. And Devil was your number one.
Ali.
Oh yeah, no, I heard. I was there when everybody else said fucked up.
So Bloodsport counts too.
Bloodsport counts. That counts.
In Mortal Kombat.
Yep, Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, bro. Mortal Kombat 2 is DQ. The end of Mortal Kombat 1. He's like, "Oh, you mortals, you're all good." And Raiden, I don't think so. It was fucking. Oh my god, it was so bad.
And then the thing about the
$3,000 glasses, you asshole.
And then 2 is so dumb because every actor left from the first one, and it continued at the end of the movie. Like niggas clearly look different.
One of my favorites is when Scorpion comes out and grabs with the katana from Liu Kang, and he goes "suckers," and just blows back.
Right.
That movie's
Scorpion more words and shit now. When he comes snatch you and shit, he's saying new shit.
Yeah.
I got your bitch.
I love how Sub-Zero goes, "You killed my brother," and there he's like, "Oh, I didn't do that. He did that himself." Like Sub-Zero's brother. Oh, it's so bad, just so bad.
Two was bad. All right, so that's
Yeah.
5-5. We're gonna get into the last segment, and of course, the last dance, MJ and the Bulls. This
The
documentary.
only thing in sports we've got.
Yeah, only thing that's keeping us on the edge of our seats. Each week it gets better. So
And next week is the
we're
last week.
focusing on
Yeah.
5,
This week is the last week. Damn.
Yeah. So just so everyone knows, we were supposed to record this podcast last night, but it was Mother's Day, and we got moms, and we got sisters, and we got kids, and not all of us have kids, but we've got kids, we've got obligations that we have to deal with, so we're behind on it. So we're giving you 4 episode recaps, correct?
Yeah.
That's correct. So usually we record on Sundays. So we record, we discuss the week before, and then you'll get, then we watch the newest episodes on Sundays, and they usually go into the next pod. But because we recording on Monday, you get 4 topics or 4 episodes of the pod or of the documentary for MJ and Last Dance with the Bulls. So we're discussing 5, 6, 7, and 8 in this episode of the OSA. So Eddie, we're gonna kick it off to you. What are your thoughts in regards to episode 5?
Okay, so yeah, we could talk about this all day. We could literally have our own podcast about it. So that was the
5, 6.
Yeah. Why don't we just say our takes on everything? No.
Actually.
Yeah.
From the
all of it. 5 through 8.
4 episodes.
Kobe, super cool. Wanted more. Got a little bit. What the fuck? Okay. I guess the next one was like Dream Team. Dream Team. Again, I know I shitted on Isaiah earlier, but yeah, that's what you get, Isaiah. That's what you get. Nobody liked you, not just Jordan. I like the fact that Jordan didn't want to show the Reebok logo. He was like, yo, I got something for them. I got something for them. I was like, what are you going to do? What do you have that's for them? And I was like, oh, American flag. Again, I'm 3 years old, so I don't know this that was happening. I was barely 3. I was probably still sucking my thumb, pooping in my diapers. Wasn't in the bed. That was cool. And then 5 was mostly, 6 was mostly baseball career. I didn't realize that it was super short and that he had a 13-game hitting streak. And then people started throwing him curveballs. So he was much like Serrano in Major League. Callback.
That's not true.
Yeah.
He was actually getting better. And they had Tony.
Yeah. No, at the end, like the tail end of it. Yeah. I was getting to that. But at the tail end of it, he was getting better. That was cool. I understand, and I'm starting to realize more and more that I wanted so much more from this documentary because I did want to know the ins and outs of like what happened in that like baseball, his dad dying kind of thing.
Right.
That was like him, because there's a lot of speculation, there's a lot of conspiracies. I don't believe any of them. I just wanted to like have like some kind of like facts for it. But like there's rumors that like he was suspended from the league and like some fucking big gambler fucking capped his fucking dad. Now, like it sucks. Like I'm sorry, and if that didn't happen to him, like I feel bad for saying it, but it's just like those are things that like people are saying, so I'm not gonna like deny that. So he goes away for a little bit and comes back and then crushes it and then wins a championship the day that his dad on Father's Day.
Father's Day.
I like that he rocked number 45 and was it Roy? And that's the other thing too. Like, okay, so the main point of this is that Jordan is just so fucking good, and that he needs this like I dare say something stupid.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna talk about
like,
that.
Roy's just fucking banging him, going, "Yo, 45 ain't as good as 23," and Michael goes, "Okay." Oh. Besides that too, like fine. Everyone knows Jordan's the GOAT. I believe that LeBron sucks, but one of my favorite things in all of those episodes, was the security guard with the coins.
Oh, wait, the flipping the coins. That's it. Episode 6, right? Episode.
He did the.
I don't know if anyone realized,
but he also did the when they're like walking down after he wins the championship. He's rocking with Mike with a fucking toothpick in his mouth, looking like the coolest dude ever. He's just like, "Yep." I'm rocking with Mike.
Cool,
no, these last 4 episodes,
I want to know that guy's name, and I want to be that guy's friend. So I'm done.
These last 4 episodes definitely been dope.
That dude's like 70.
I'm gonna pass it to you, but my question to you is: in these episodes, we really got a sense of Jordan the icon and Jordan the culture, the brand as the culture. He originally wanted to be with Adidas. Well, they wanted everybody's with Converse.
He
I
wanted
can tell this entire
Converse.
story because I
Yeah.
met the guy who
So,
like helped them go to Nike pretty
I
much.
mean, DQ, give it to us about Jordan brand and the sneaker culture.
So how Jordan ended up with Nike was in college he wore Converse and he liked wearing Adidas, right? But the Adidas wasn't offering as much money, and also Nike had came up with this great marketing plan for
Right.
him.
And he came out with
But-
this new material and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Then besides that, he still, even though they gave him all the money and all the marketing shit, he still wanted to go with Adidas. So it took his mother and a man named Howard White to convince him to go to Nike, right?
Yeah.
And then they created the brand Air Jordan.
Yeah. So they created Air Jordan, the brand. Then technically, the black and red Jordan 1s weren't banned. It was the Airship that was banned, not that Jordan 1, because it was a test model pretty much.
Uh-huh.
And then as years went on, the Jordan 1 did pretty well. The 2, like he hated the 2. Then that's when Tinker Hatfield. The 2 was horrible, even though it's made with genuine Italian leather. Tinker Hatfield
DQ.
came back with yes.
Which shoes was he bleeding in? Which Jordans?
It was the one.
Those are the ones?
The very first
yeah.
one, the
So
red
he was-
Jordan 1s.
Oh, he's got them. Look at him pull them
He
out.
got them shits.
I sneak ahead.
So like, it's not the same exact color, but it's just
Now,
a
the ones is like running around in Air Forces, bro. Like they flat, like.
yeah. So like the bottom of these are pretty much just the white and blue ones, but black and blues. But the bottom of these are so flat. You touch you're literally touching.
Those are Royal Toes?
Yeah, no, these are the regular Royal ones.
Okay.
So pretty much, when you wear these on court, because I actually played in the black and yellow ones with my cousin a few years back. Yeah, you're literally touching the floor when you're wearing these playing basketball. So like with the sole and the rubber, you really feel your foot going through the rubber and all the material when you're touching the actual wooden floor. So him wearing it for a long period of time, his feet were going to bleed.
Mm-hmm.
That's like wearing like Converses still to this day. Like Converse, you fuck around and mess up and wear Converses in the city and you walk all day, your feet is gonna hurt.
Yeah, but like pretty much with Mike and everything, he's pretty much the first person besides Chuck Taylor to like revolutionize having your own shoe.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure you know from growing up in Chicago that like he was so big, people went to be like Mike.
What was great about this documentary, growing up in Chicago, how big he was, but how big he was everywhere.
Yeah.
Like everywhere. There has not been anybody. Only people I can say that's been close to as big as Mike is Tiger. Like,
yeah.
Right.
And
Jeter.
Yeah.
Big Poppy.
But not on that GOAT level with
right
there. But Tiger and Mike is like up there with Michael Jackson. Like it's different. Like
well, it had a lot to do with that 93 series. And again, this is exactly why we could do an entire podcast just based off of this documentary. Is that like, yeah, like that's when people felt. I mean, the guy was playing AAA baseball and like so the main reason why, like normally they would send him to single A and he was playing double A because they couldn't handle it media wise because they already knew before he even touched the fucking grass that this was going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like the Jordan 2 look like probably one of the weaker models, but I like how they look. But as far as like
Jordan 2s too,
I have Jordans 1 to 23.
Hey, oh.
But like pretty much the 2 wasn't really received well, and then the designer Tinker Hatfield, who pretty much designed the Huarache, the Air Max 1, all that stuff. He came with this pretty much this entire marketing and design package to where he showed them the shoe for the first time, which was with the elephant print. I have a pair of 3s over here. I do have a pair of 3s.
Damn, bro, he know where all them things at.
It's crazy. I'm impressed.
The labels are right here on the box. That's why.
Oh, okay.
No, boxes are different.
DQ looking like Mero from Desus and Mero. They're filming their show on Showtime right now. I don't mean to plug them. But Desus always got
He
different shoes behind him. That's
He
DQ,
before.
man. Look at him.
My shit's dirty, but like the three had the
Team
first
of
shoe with
three.
the elephant print on it for the first time. So
Yeah.
they showed them the shoe, and they showed him the apparel, the commercial pack. They would have pretty much everything that had the mind for him
Oh man.
with the shoe. They just
Oh, my
for him, he
service is
actually
fucking
loved it.
up.
And this is
We're
actually the
about to
shoe he
lose
won
John.
his first dunk contest in with these on
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Hey, John, you all right?
Hell no.
All right, KJ.
Yeah, let's chop that
Your
up.
thoughts on episodes 5 through 8?
So just highlights real quick. I mean, it was definitely dope to see like them flash and go over the dream team.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about Isaiah Thomas. Like I could care less. But just the dream team and like seeing them set the bar and like I think Kukoc, whatever, was supposed
Yeah,
to like,
That's how he got recruited.
Yeah, Kukoc got man, poor Kukoc.
and I'm just like, yo, like this is a theme here. It's just like, yo, Jordan is like a bully. He can
Yo,
be.
Pippen was more
Yo,
of a bully
and
than Kukoc.
Pippen.
He's-
And
It
like
was
we
Pippen,
again,
too.
this is
It
why
was
we gotta have
Pippen.
a whole thing. Like that whole like shit with Pippen being like, "Oh, you're not gonna give me the last shot. I'm not gonna play now."
Right.
Like it's just so much that happens in this shit.
That's prima donna shit, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then for me, like, the most tragic shit is just like that shit with his dad. That shit's crazy. And I think we've all had something like significant happen to us in our lives, and then it comes full circle where we have a reflective moment that is just like, did the stars align here? Like this is fucking nuts. Like I can't imagine him going into that game and it's just like Father's Day. He had a chance to close it out, and the way he closes it and just the pure emotion of him like in the locker room afterwards.
Just
Crying,
straight
man.
crying,
Brutal.
bawling like
Yeah,
that.
brutal, bro.
Like
Not gonna
that
lie.
scene had
I
me
had a
crying.
couple tears. I felt them.
That scene
I felt
had me
them.
crying.
It was just like, it's like, damn, this shit is crazy. And then as far as him leaving and going like to play baseball, it was something that he wanted to do, especially like to honor his dad. And like Eddie said, like I love that he started with like a 13-game hit streak, but I love more so that we got to see Jordan the athlete again, because he started to apply himself to the point where like, yo, he was gonna be nasty if like
Yeah.
the NBA lockout and shit didn't happen and he didn't get a chance to like come back.
It was the MLB lockout at the time.
Yeah, MLB.
Yeah.
MLB
Yeah,
lockout.
MLB,
And then
That's why he came back to basketball.
yeah, that's why
And
because he didn't want to like
real
cross
quick,
the
too,
picket line.
While he was filming, because we can have an entire podcast about while he was filming Space Jam, the fact that they built him a fucking stadium, and then this dude, after getting smoked by, well, not smoked, but after getting eliminated by Orlando, inviting everybody to come over and watch them so he could fucking scout them. I mean, nobody doesn't do this.
I mean,
this
honestly,
is why
Eddie,
he is the greatest.
Eddie.
This is why.
He didn't have nobody from Orlando at that time though. Like anybody from Orlando wasn't when he had like players. It was different players. Nobody from Orlando was actually playing with him during that time. He had that whole stadium
He still
built.
had Pippen. He still had Rodman.
No. I'm saying nobody from Orlando came down to actually play with him during the games during that time.
That's because Horace Grant was on that team. Horace Grant was on the Magic, that team that eliminated him. He already played with Mike, so they kind of told him everything possibly.
Right.
After Horace Grant got those first 2 rings with him, he went to Orlando, try to beat him pretty much. It was the fucking dumbest thing ever.
Okay, I did not.
So Drew, it's on you. Thoughts on episodes 5 through 8?
Episodes 5 through 8, like honestly, the whole shit is like you can like. I honestly wish this whole shit was longer. To be honest, like from like 5, where they go into like the whole building of Jordan Brand, Air Jordan.
Yeah,
hey, you read that, Johnny? Yo,
Johnny
from
Wi-Fi.
episode 5, from the whole creation of Jordan Brand. Like I like the way how they did even the cuts between like. Remember in episode 5 they were going in from Jordan's last episode, like last game in the Garden, back to like creation of Jordan Brand because in like the episode, because in like during like the last game in the Garden he was wearing the whole story. He was wearing the Jordan 1s, like the first Jordan 1s he ever played in the Garden. This is the last Jordan 1 I'm ever going to play in. Like, and they were going through and they were going back and forth, jumping back and forth to where he actually came into Nike, how he built the brand up. Like, because basically Nike wasn't like even like on like a basketball rate.
Yeah, at the
Yeah,
time,
they
like
were-
Nike had 70% of the NBA signed under contract, but they didn't have a star pretty much. And Mike was that one player they wanted to sign.
Yeah, and like jumping back and forth to where they are now, like Nike from where they to where they are now being like this big shoe company like where they're number one, and like and from that going on to like episode 6 from like they go from the Dream Team. They go from Dream Team also into that 97, 93 season, like during the playoffs, like in that whole thing, like in my whole opinion, like they were like 92 was kind of easy for the Bulls during the playoffs, but like in 93 they really had to fight for everything during that whole playoffs, like the playoff sessions with the Knicks, and then with the
don't bring that up, man. Don't bring that up.
I mean, like, yeah, it was a good time for the first 2 games. First 2 games, no, we won the first
overall,
2 games.
the first 2 games, yeah.
The first 2 games overall, New York definitely was hyped. Like, I can imagine this is a personal shit for me. I can imagine, like, my father is like a devout Knicks fan. I can imagine him in the living room screaming after those 2 games, like going nuts. And
I've been in the Garden where Marbury dropped 40, missed 1 free throw, and we lost to a 3-point by Ray Allen in the corner. So I can imagine.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's just what comes with the territory, as we talked about earlier in this podcast. Being a Knicks fan isn't fun for anyone.
But the weird thing was, before that game, I'm like, yo, he gonna drop 40. He drops 40.
Yo, but going.
Go ahead, Dev. Go ahead.
What you got, Drew?
But like going on after that, even like during episode 7, where he's like wrestling with the fact that he's going to leave this game, like he's going to retire, and then what happened to his dad like totally seals the deal, and like he just like retires from the game of basketball. He goes on somewhat honors his dad, and like because his dad one of his thing was going to play baseball. He honors it by going to play baseball, and he would continue if it wasn't for that lockout. Like he didn't want to cross the picket line. That was the whole reason. Like he never continued playing baseball again. And then he comes back in. There's a lull like the 95 season, because the man is not in basketball shape. Like he comes in like basically 3/4 of the season is done. Like you're not
has a couple of bad games and then still goes off, which is fucking wild.
Yeah, but you don't win a title because you're not MJ. You're not basketball MJ. You're still like your remedies. You're not tip top basketball shape. And then that whole emotional, and also in episode 7, the emotional speech is like, like on what he had to do to push his teammates. Like I had to be an asshole to get them to realize that this is what you're gonna have to face when you're going on to be this great. Like I had to push my guys. Like don't blame me for being an asshole because this is what I had to do. Like this comes with the territory. Like you gonna have to be this way, or just you're not going to win anything. That's basically what you said.
Yeah, good take, Drew. All right, Johnny.
Oh, is that me?
Yeah, your thoughts on the entire 5 through 8.
As a whole, like 5 through 8, I like the the little Kobe part that we got. You know how Kobe. Well, we all know Kobe is influenced by him, and Kobe basically states if it wasn't for MJ, that he wouldn't have 5.
There's no Kobe.
So we have that part. I liked how I'm gonna go like chronological order. I liked how they touched a little bit on the gambling. Touched on that.
Yeah.
What else they touched on?
They touched
Going
on a lot.
everywhere.
They touched a
Again,
lot.
I say it a
Dream
lot,
Team
man.
stuff.
We should do a subsidiary podcast, like just based on this, like to wrap it all up at the end, right?
That's possible. We could do something like that. But they touched on the Dream Team stuff. They touched on how tough he was on his teammates. They touched on that. But it was all worth it because at the end of the day, like Jordan said, he wanted to be great. He wanted them to celebrate. Obviously, he's great
with him.
He wanted them to celebrate with him, so he had to be what he had to be to get where they wanted to get. They talked about the baseball, and then it's crazy for all the stories we've been told. We're younger, how crazy of a killer Jordan is. How many of these these players? No, but it's like how these players really be testing him. Like, I just got a good game on Jordan.
Yeah,
I'm gonna talk my
it's
shit.
It's a
Them
lesson never learned,
stories,
right? Like, why are all of you talking shit? You
No,
shouldn't,
but
because
I understand that, but it's like,
when he comes back the next day and he smokes you, like, what
there's
the fuck?
There's this one part in episode 7 where they call it the Bradford stories, like where this just like rookie LeBradford from the Washington. They were Washington Bullets.
Was crazy,
and there's Washington Bullets. He scores 37 in this miraculous game. Like he's just fresh out of he's just fresh. No basketball ever. He just has this amazing game. Scores 37. Yeah. And then legend goes that he puts his arm around Mike saying good game. That's what Mike said to reporters.
Mike goes, yeah, I'm gonna do what he did the full game in a
half.
Fucking half. So
Scored
that's
36.
alpha shit, man.
Scores
LeBron ain't doing that. LeBron puts his arm around somebody and goes, hey, you want to play together one day? Maybe sometime. Maybe we should be friends.
Yo, shut up, man. Shut up.
It's crazy how they really try to like.
No, but
Jordan doesn't need this, but it's like, you want to talk that? You want to talk shit to me? I got you.
But you guys are missing the whole thing and that whole story at the end when they actually confront Michael Jordan. He said he made the whole shit up, bro. That whole story was made up. He just made up the shit in his mind, just get him hyped for the next game.
But Mike had a lot of those moments where he had the kid Harold Miner with
BJ.
You had PJ. One game you had Horace Grant. Like all these people who
it's almost like he's got this like psychological tick where he just needs to motivate himself more. He already knows he's the best player in the league of all time. He knows. He told Magic, I've beaten you. Bird, I'm better than you.
And that's what I'm saying.
No one's better than me. So what he does is that when the reporter goes, I got the Cavs in 4, and I got this team in 6 or in 5, and then I got the Cavs in 6. And Mike walks up to the booth and he goes, I got you already. I beat you already. I got you tonight. It's that alpha shit. And even like with the gambling, when they're all playing like the high stakes poker games in the back of the jet. Yeah. And then, in the front of the jet, they're playing the $1 games. Right. And he was like, I'll play with y'all. And he's like, you don't want that. And you don't want to, it's too low stakes for you. And he's like, I want your money in my pocket. That's that alpha shit, man. He's different, and there's no one better than him.
Well, he had the 45, and Kenny Anderson stole it from him and stuff. And he was like saying 45 ain't 23. And Horace Grant told him like, damn, why did you say that? And
exactly. And he came back and smoked.
I mean,
and he
lost the series, but he came back and played
he came back though. He redeemed himself.
So again, Mike is who we thought he was. We just got the evidence now, because I'm sure all of us is in like amazement watching this, because again, none of us grew up or none of us was of age during this time. Like our parents enjoyed this era of basketball, which to me is probably the golden era of basketball.
I knew Wizards Mike.
Wizards Mike wasn't bad though.
Yeah, but like I knew that version of him like
Right.
watching,
I
and
didn't-
like to
I
me,
didn't-
I was like, this dude is the greatest of all time.
I didn't know Charles Barkley was that nice, bro. I had no idea.
I did.
Yeah, he a
Charles
Charles Barkley
knucklehead.
was nice, bro. Come on.
He a knucklehead.
That's why him and with the Draymond be talking shit to Charles. It's like, yo, cut it out.
Yo,
Like, cut it out. You ain't even in the same
you
bracket.
ain't on my bracket, man.
All right, but that's OSA episode 4.
Sorry it went so long, guys. We love you. We
Oh,
appreciate you guys for tuning in. All 4 of you,
Yes, go ahead.
not including us.
So yeah, thank you guys for watching OSA. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. New episode every week. Got the team here. Got my homie DQ in the building. Got AD in the building. Got Kev Jet in the building. Got Johnny 5 in the building. We got our host, Eddie Horchata, holding it down. Again, this video is brought to
I'm
you
gonna make
by
some coffee now.
Yeah.
Culture Capsule, sponsored by Don's Inc. We in the building. Catch y'all next week with a fresh new episode. Peace.
Everybody.
All right.
That's going
Cut recording, but I got one thing to say, guys.